I am back. Flat Earth British, Martin Liedtke speaking. 1414 for a copy. 1414 for a copy. Let's see how my comms are doing. It's good to see you guys. Hope you can hear me. Give me a big 420 if everything's coming through juicy. So I've been off for a week. Oh, God. I'm so happy to be back. I've missed you guys horribly. Oh, my God. A week in the pit. 420, 420. Thank you, Nora. Thank you, Fluffy, Garda Williams. I'll give you all shouts now. Come and talk to you all. So, ongoing things. So, yeah, YouTube said that I was making too much noise and to go away for a week in the naughty corner, which I did, which was really helpful, really. Although I was on sort of a steaming roll, and I do get like quite terrific at times. It gave me time to do some research and work on some usage, and it is really, really good. So I hope you're going to enjoy tonight's show. It's going to be a roller coaster ride of information, and it is going to be fun as well. We're going to have a great time. Are you excited? I'm excited. I'm excited to be back. Oh my God, Flat Earth British is one of the best institutions on YouTube. Fuck me. YouTube would be crap without Flat Earth British. I'm just saying. It's awesome to see you all, guys. Thank you for being here, bringing your vibration, your positive vibration. We don't do all of that sucky, grumpy stuff on Flat Earth British. Have you noticed? It's been years and years of just keeping and maintaining a higher vibration, because this is a winning formula. Okay, even though the world is a really tough place, but let's be honest, guys. You know, I don't know how old you all are, but I'm getting on a bit, and we made it this far, guys. Yeah, against all odds. And the game was rigged from the very beginning, and we made it this far. So there's that, isn't there? And we're going to celebrate life together here now on Flat Earth British. Get your coffee, get your things. Otto's in the house. Love Otto. My brother, Angela Baby Carson. She's in the house. And Hippie Shake. So, yeah. I've been off for a week, and having YouTube cold turkey. Not been able to post or anything. I have my other channels, but it's not the point. So, right, what we're doing today. Now, you can see the title of this video, guys, and some of you might be thinking, well, let me tell you, guys, what I'm going to present tonight is mind-blowing, and this idea is not as far-fetched as you might think. I'm going to propose that somewhere in the 1800s was a catastrophe, okay, a cataclysm. A invasion, actually. I think we were invaded in probably the early part of the 1800s by a foreign force with superior technology than ourselves. And Queen Victoria has been victorious since. So the Phoenician paradigm has been running for quite some time, maybe 200 years now. So I would say an accurate marker for that would be around the 1812. But later as well, I think this was ongoing. The clues are this, which I'm going to present. But concerning American city fires, North American city fires, the ones in Canada, St. John's, Toronto, Ottawa, you come down to Philadelphia, Pittsburgh, Chicago, the biggest of all, the Great Fire of Chicago, 1871, and Seattle and Vancouver, and Boston, and all of these apocalyptic fires that wiped out these cities. Now you'd think that on Google or on extensive searches you'd be able to find evidence of one of these cities at least on fire, but I can't. There's like none are showing you the cities on fire. You know, to give them the benefit of the doubt, it might have been really hot for a camera to operate. But for the same token, they got a really extensive photographic records of the aftermaths. And all you ever see is cities that are wiped out and really strange circumstances, as I'm going to show you now, that make zero sense and would need a lot of explaining. So what I'm asking you to do now, guys, is just discard the official narrative, what you learned in school, and try and imagine that there was an invasion, a takeover, and a destruction of this place in the mid to the latter half of the 18th century and before, when this all started. Now, I think it was World War Z. I think if you think that the 20th century was a war, 100 years of war, coming from 1902, the Boer War, right the way up to the Gulf Wars to end the century. It was just war, war, war. The First World War, then on with the Second World War, then fucking Korea, and then Vietnam, then Afghanistan, and on we go with a perpetual war, which is what happened to the last century. This happened the century before. If you include the Napoleonic narrative, the Napoleonic Wars were world wars. Everybody in the world was involved in it, so it was certainly a world war, although they don't call it that. But I think there was a hidden world war, and I think the destruction and the evidence is hiding in the photographic record. Now, you can think of 1812, Otto, the 1812 Overture, for example, and the 100 Clues, everything from Mary Shelley's Frankenstein, being wrote at that time about, rising from the dead in the year without summer, that led all the way up to, 1816, 5 years of apocalypse, even a year without summer and no sunshine, and everything died, causing famines, etc. Something really bad happened at the period of the beginning of the 1800s, but later as well. These evidence, they give us time markers. We can get newspaper articles. We can timestamp that, okay, Chicago event happened in 1871 and not before. But what we can exclude is it doesn't fit the narrative, what they're telling us. And why is it that they can't give us pictures of these cities on fire? I promise you can't. You can only see photographs of smouldering, a bit of smouldering, hardly any, no fire. The only place I've seen fire is the Call Building in San Francisco, but that was much later, in 1906, much later. Another narrative I want to talk about later on in this post is something that's actually tied in, again, including the first bit of this narrative, to my work, and something that's ongoing now, which I'll draw your attention to. And it's this. In my first book, The Holy Grail of the Flat Earth, I go into a chapter or so mentioning the Santorini event and the apocalyptic nature of the Santorini event, causing the biblical plagues, causing all of them islands in Greece, because the whole of the Mediterranean exploded. So they're saying it's happening again. There's all like hundreds of earthquakes under Santorini, and they are evacuating that beautiful island. And also this week, there's been government, I'm guessing, warnings and alerts for people in the New Madrid area. So Santorini's rumbling, New Madrid's rumbling. Okay, sort of getting the picture here. And if you've been following my channel for years, you'd find that quite mind-blowing or plurific. Am I a prophet? No. I just do my research. I do my due diligence. What got me wondering as well about what I'm going to talk about now is H.G. Wells's War of the Worlds. Now, I'm trying to work out like what the man was envisioning to be able to see these things in the worlds of the 1880s. Horse and carty. What is he seeing? To be able to envision tripod space vehicles, death rays they had, and all of these other things that came along with the War of the Worlds. And coincidentally, another Wells, Orson Welles, did a radio show in the 1930s and scared half of Massachusetts to death. Apparently, there were suicides. He did it on a radio show. They changed the London names for known names in Massachusetts, and people panicked and thought that the aliens were actually invading, or the Martians to be more specific. And it caused mass hysteria. Now, this mass hysteria has been ongoing through time, and mass hysteria with the Battle of LA, for example, which we'll look at briefly. I talked about it in my last post this morning. Apparently craft showing up, being fired at, and there are lots of narratives, surprisingly, and going right back to the 1500s, of craft turning up and obliterating cities. I've shown you old pamphlets in the past from like Germany in the 1500s where, craft are showing up and blitzing with beams the city. So I think there's a superior technology ongoing. Now, although I haven't seen a UFO in a few years, years ago, I was seeing them all the time. Maybe it's just because I'm in a flat and don't go out too much at night anymore. I'm not sure. But I haven't seen any in quite some time. So I'm going to look at that in this post. We're going to look at images of the week and collections. We're going to talk about all of the cool effie things that are coming up and conventions and the like. There's a convention at the end of the year, which is going to be awesome. There's some really big names going there, including Kelly and Campbell from Autodidactic and Tatari in Australia. So that's going to be epic. That's at the end of the year, though. But before them, in July, we're going to have an FE, because the FE are like rocking at the moment since that nonsense that went on and just didn't do themselves any favors with that bullshit that came out with the I'm not even going to mention the words, that Antarctica business. Anyway, so we're having a flat earth meet, and there's some big names. The biggest names in flat earth go into that as well, and that is in Venice, and we'll talk about that later on in this post. Okay, let's give you a few of you shouts. Let a few of you rumble on in. We got 460 odd of you. Good to see you. Use Dimples, my friend Marianne. It's good to be back, isn't it? You excited? I'm excited. There's a bike out there. It's like sort of backfiring and it sounds like gunshots. I hope it is a bike. So, Combat Finn. Hey, Martin. I am all buckled in and ready for the ride. Okay, good. That's what I'd like to hear. And it's my brother Otto. Loving on Care Bear. So yeah, you feel free to be loving on one another. Big massive shout and hug, special love to my friend Nora here, who's having a bit of a shit time at the moment with stuff. So we're going to send healing vibrations and flat earth British fluffiness, because that's what we do. Yeah. Amy Ward, we'll have a look at that later. Did you see Lucy? Good to see you. Puckwiggle. R.I.P. Oh, yeah, well, we don't really care about all of them mainstreamy lot, do we? You're not going to get any of the information there. Where do you think they get their information? And the working grassroots of YouTube, where all the work is done. Valda's good to see you. Feeling much better. I think I've had like an ego extraction. Maybe that's it. And I'm feeling just chill now. Like maybe it's just my age, where I'm just at this age now where I'm like, you know, I made it this far. I don't give a fuck. I don't, because all of these things and shitty people and doing all of these things, you just got to fucking think to yourself, like, don't even go there. And that's going to hurt you later on, because there's consequences in this place for anything unkind and rude, for example. And people doing slideys all the time. And slimies, you get a lot of that on the truth, in the truth movement, especially with all of these globe channels, or whatever you want to call them. There's consequences for everything in this place, guys. You don't get away with that shit. None of it. So I don't get into it or give my energy to any of it. I let the universe sort things out. I always have, really. Instead of sitting there thinking about like, I just don't do it. I lighten my loads. I lighten my lighten my head, like my Brian. More carefree thoughts, and that helps with my creativity. Because if I'm like depressed or anything, like in that, you know, like sort of in a doom mode, I wouldn't be able to make any content. Okay, because it would be sucky content. So what Cheryl say? Yes, there are consequences. Yeah, good choices. Yes, indeed. Above all, be kind in this place. Yeah, and like, I'm not, you know, I'm not here to change change the world. And if I've indirectly, you know, because I was thinking about it, you know, this morning actually, I was thinking, well, if I can make the world a better place, and just a better place for me being here, my presence, so to speak, then I'll fucking do that. So that's what I'm doing. I'm bringing my vibration to you all, sharing my experience while I'm here on Earth. Adam, good to see you. I'm gonna have fun. Okay, should we get into some juice? This is Ryan Indoctrinated. Yeah, it's freezing. It's Bravia Bostock. It's freezing in here too. It's bloody rubbish, but we're not complaining. Winter's a thing. Great background. Yeah, so we're doing the trippy cool stuff. And today I am. Let me just show you. Marticus von Kuratu Bada Niktu. Okay, which is the saying that the robot God said to wake shit up in the film. Day the Earth Stood Still, which is a really groovy film. One of my all-time favorites. I love them old sci-fis. They're just so groovy. So, June M knows. Good to see you. Beans, D-Tech, and 7-0, and Mick. Is that Mickty? I like my Earth. I do. I like my girl's chest. Oh, do you? Tell us more. Oh, I can't go there. No more boobies, I'm afraid. No more boobies on Flat Earth British. That's what I got. Apparently, I'm not going to go into it because I don't care anymore, really. So there's that. But they said, like, sexual content. It wasn't. It was all about love. They don't even know the difference. It's weird. So there wasn't anything even in it. I got the video. I went through it. I watched it all. And I was like, there's nothing in that. So they were just telling me to shut the fuck up for a week. Go away. Do other stuff. And Boston had some heavy snow, did it, Dave? Ooh. Okay. Well, yeah, the world is indeed a strange place. I'm just booking a holiday to Gaza a couple of years early. Don't even laugh. You're going to be going there one day on holiday. Can they do that shit? It's just nuts, this place, isn't it? Just makes shit up. Yeah, I got booby banned. I know. What's the point in life, isn't it? So I just see it in my mind instead. Okay. We happy? Okay, let's get stuck into the juice. So on my last video, guys, I don't know whether you watched it, a couple of thousand if you have. I talked about the possibility of the moon landings being carried out in Antarctica. And I'm getting quite a popular little comeback, like hundreds of comments, people saying, yeah, you know, I never actually thought about this, but I think it could be a thing, Matt. It's got people talking, which is what I want, conversation. And I ended the video talking about Operation High Jump, the high strangeness. We got some info on that coming in this post of Admiral Byrd, famous Admiral Byrd, and his tales of apparently UFOs that came out of apparently under the ice, which he suggested was an inner Earth, and loads of narratives. So I can't substantiate whether any of that is true. What I can substantiate is they put it out into the narrative. Yeah, like H.G. Wells. I can't tell you if H.G. Wells actually existed. What I can tell you is they, you know, whoever, the Tavistock, whoever, gave us this information for the time machine, for 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Oh, no, that was Jules Verne. But you know what I mean, all of these futuristic films. But what you see here is they reported for the Great Fire of Chicago in 1871, a flying saucer, or what they said was a floating craft. Now, just to jet back to this a minute, I've been talking about on my narrative for quite some time, actually, since my first book, which was 7 years ago now, guys. I was talking about this narrative, and now it's all coming true. And everything that I talked about has actually come true, including that weird stuff that happened 5 years ago. I actually called that out on a video like 1 full year before it even happened. So I can't see where the beams are coming from, but there is the narrative out there that some of these fires that have been happening are started from some high energy beam, and a narrative for the cities being destroyed, especially the biggest one of all, the Chicago fire, probably next to San Francisco, the biggest, most horrific event in American history for a city that big, and the narrative for flying saucers. Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which just coincidentally looks a bit like the Saint Michel, the Saint Michael's, or the Saint Michel, one in France, one in Cornwall, which look like they've landed UFOs. But we have mentioned in the past that some of the places could have been boats or even craft from the air. So I think it's much more likely, though, you know, considering what we talk about with blocked out backgrounds, vanilla skies in the past, that the transport of the day is balloons, and there's just a ton of balloons up there. And I think that is indeed the case. So I'm going to show you. Nanu. More Colin Orson. Come in, Orson. Shazbat. Sail away, Shazbat. And we can see evidence of Zeppelins firing high energy beams, Faches type technologies, and setting fires. And this is in Calais during the First World War. And as I've shown you before, they are causing fires with Zeppelins and high energy beams. So they got that technology down at least 120 odd years ago. Okay. So I think they had it before with the American city fires. Like, makes zero sense. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you in a minute, okay, because you've never seen these photos before, because I dug so deep you wouldn't even believe it. But when I seen them, I was like, Christ, if I'd have seen these 5 years ago, it would have been a different story, because these are mind-blowing, and I'll show you them shortly. I find it fascinating. In the background of Chicago, we have a gas, well, it looks like a gasometer or some sort of thing that hasn't gone. But again, you can see Chicago has no smoke, no fires, excuse me. So everything is after the event. And another thing that I suggested as well was similar circumstances was the events that happened then that changed the entire world. UFOs a thing? Well, I can't say that I haven't seen them, you see. I've seen them on my 8th birthday turn up. I've seen one with my partner the size of Wembley Stadium. They're so close I could have thrown a stone at it. I've mentioned this a dozen times. So Wernher von Braun's connection with Antarctica is what I talked about, which is he went to literally Antarctica, Wernher von Braun, to match it with the moon, which is just, to me, a marker that they actually faked it on Antarctica. It makes perfect sense. So how far did they get with real technology, the manner technology? The Nazis. So just say that the Nazis are in Antarctica. They go there in the 1930s. They've made contact with whoever's living under the ice or in what they call the inner earth or whatever. And they do some sort of technological swap, which is why Germany, it was so technologically superior to the rest of the world in the 1930s. A lot of the world had a lot of catching up to do. You know, Germany had it down. So whether or not they swapped the Phoenicians, some fluffy German women, some Florines, for UFO technology, one can only wonder. The Battle of LA. So this happened. There was a movie made about it. It was totally crap, though. But they had to, thought it was the Japanese maybe coming to attack, or more bat bombs going to drop. That was the only attack on American soil during the Second World War, was Japanese bat bombs. You may look into that. Very strange narrative. They say it was true. But this also happened. And they opened up the guns, but some photographs have been taken, and it's them old-fashioned type saucepan-y, upside-down frying pan, flying saucer events. Mystery air objects seen over LA. So there's been many reports of, you know, the Phoenix lights. We've all seen them. And I haven't seen a UFO since New Mexico. We've seen Starlink, or whatever that is, disappear in the middle of the sky. And some other stars just flitting around as well, because we were right up in the Rockies there. So we could see the stars super duper clear. So yeah, so the Nazis were down there in 1938-39. There's a connection to UFOs, and there's a connection to UFOs destroying American cities. Not just one, Pittsburgh and Chicago and others, floating machines. I've put it out there that it could be Zeppelins, but what if it isn't? So Wernher von Braun said that they were going to definitely try a fake alien invasion, maybe bloom beam it, who even knows. Would the masses buy it? I'm not so sure anymore, guys. People are just teetering on the edge of not giving a fuck anymore. I think things are going to change big time very, very soon. I think people are just working it out. I really do. You have to be really fucking dense to not work it out by now. These are pictures I've never seen before in my life of Chicago. Okay, guys, they are glass plated. What I find fascinating is this, and I will say this now, is to me, it looks like America suffered a nuclear war in the 1800s. That's what the damage looks like. It's identical to Hiroshima and Nagasaki, guys. It's just nuts. It's just weird, man. But in my mentality, they never really perfected the implosion technique, and I'm not really a purveyor of quantum realm mechanics because there's no evidence for it, really. It's all, you know, wrapped up in Kabbalistic ideals. So there's that, isn't there? But they used some sort of superior technology, guys, that was... so somebody suggests... I mentioned the trees seem to be all fireproof when there's supposed to be a fire ripping through that's taken out this beautiful church that's actually in Chicago. Where's all of the stuff that's in the frame? You know, the other things like road and lampposts, just boards. But yeah, you got this big Anglican style church. Now, one thing you do witness with photographs of radiation, they picked it up when they took photographs after Chernobyl, is you get these dots everywhere in radioactive pictures. They attack the photograph development. And you see these same things with these photographs. You see these dots? Just like you get with radiation. Okay, so I can't get my idea. Now, somebody said to me in my comments, oh, well, the trees, they don't burn because they're full of water. Full of water. Well, I dig they're full of water. So what, forest fires are not real? No, I don't think that's real. I don't think that works for me. Look at the size of this masonry. So another thing I see as well with these pictures, you get large buildings like this, and they're gutted just like you get in maybe Berlin, the Battle of Berlin, is where's the fire? Where's the blackened? Where it doesn't even look like it's been on fucking fire. Maybe a little bit by there, but honestly, these buildings should be just blackened, but they're not. And the size of the, what exactly are we talking about? That if you look at this building behind, guys, it's just like melted stuff. It's like just unbelievable temperatures. Look at this, nuts. This is nuts. So imagine now there's a firestorm. It rips down this beautiful tree-lined avenue, but there's a couple of stumps there, so we did take a couple of trees down, but not this one here, which is absolutely gorgeous, and all these here, but completely guts the inside of the church out. How is that even fucking possible? Somebody? Because I can't get my head around it at all. How these buildings are completely empty. You can see fire there, though. The old rose window gone. I bet that was beautiful in its heyday. But the trees. And also, I can't see any telegraph poles in this street. There's something up with that as well. So, yeah. So the fire ripped through. It caught the church on fire. The structure didn't fall down. Everything else completely disappears. There's no roof trusses, no woods, no nothing left. But everything around it's all juicy. Look at these wires as well. Telegraph poles. Look at the size of these buildings. Just built for giants. So I'm no expert in, I'm not a fire inspector and that, but it doesn't take a genius to work out the fire, sort of comes through and just incinerates everything in its path, not tippy fucking toe around trees. Does that even make sense? I'm going to show you pictures in a minute of piles of timber in these buildings, like there's been no fire. What, like this? This. What is all this wood, guys? They're saying it is the biggest fire in American history next to San Francisco, and there's all of this wood, and all of this wood, and the trees, and all the buildings have disappeared. Maybe I'm just missing something. Maybe it's just me. Fuck, that's just... Take some explaining. If you go with the official narrative, that makes zero sense. These are absolutely unbelievable pictures. When I stumbled upon them, my eyes bugged out. Look at this old world stonework here. And that's like below ground level, I bet you. And that was a mud flood. That church. But the trees are absolutely smashing in situ. See what I mean? Ashes across the road. Ashes. Yeah, we're definitely missing something. So, yeah, it appears like there's been a massive war, guys. If you look at the American Civil War, the destruction of cities like Richmond or Charleston, it just defies logic to think these massive buildings that are in Richmond, like all of these dockside warehouses. Can you see in the background this tower? This is a massive water tower that was in Chicago. It's not there anymore. I don't think it is. So there's the guy in the camera with his shadow. So he's dragged that out. Shame he couldn't give us any photographs of the actual fire. That would have been stonking. The size of this beautiful. I wonder if they just kept these outside fashion, curtain walls and just built the buildings back. I wonder. But again, fireproof trees. But it just looks so much like the church you see in Hiroshima. There's a church there. And look at this superhuman poem. Everything else is just, again, tiny little pieces. And this thing, that certainly is an apocalyptic scene, isn't it? 1871. And there is always a presence of soldiers. There's always a presence of theme. I really do think there was a war. I really do. Look at this twin tower affair. It even looks like these two towers have just been like targeted from above, because the damage, wow, where's the damage on these bits of tower? Smoke should have been just bellowing out of these windows, making black all up here, but it doesn't appear to be. Again, not consistent with what you were thinking of a fire ripping through this way. More from above. More from above. So they got the history books, and I'm sure they're not going to, the victors are not going to tell the people that actually live here what happened. They just wrap it up in American city fires, wars. That raged for 5 years, didn't it? The American Civil War. So there's that. So to me, that doesn't make any sense, how you can see, you know, with this famous image you see of Chicago. I'll just show you a few more. I don't want to show too many. But yeah, you can see it's blackened, it's melted, but everything's just fine in the ways of nature. But these images here, I've got 100 or so of them. I went through them and picked out the best. But oh my God, guys, what they show you, I haven't got the time to show you right now. But what they do is show you the intricacy of, you know, this balustrade of the stairs that was there, and this stone. Can you imagine the quality of these stereoscopic images, which would bring it to life a bit? I also seen one image of a load of safes as well, just like you've seen with San Francisco, some sort of crimes going on as well, people robbing, but the entire city's just gone. Attributed to, connected with the Peshtiga event, as I've mentioned before. Not to mention too much about this, but, you know, we can make the connection, like I've mentioned actually for years now, of the fires that have been happening just recently. It's the same MO. It is exactly the same MO. Fireproof fucking trees. Everything falling in its footprint. It looks just like what we just looked at, in fact. Just like it. How is that even humanly possible for that to even happen? It's like just jumpy fire. There's a Hollywood actor. Quick, let's just go round this house. The fire just has a word with one another. And then it's just like, looks like that. A smouldering mess. Oh, great way to reset is fire and water. And it's ongoing. And they've been doing it all along. And I've been telling you all along. I wrote about all of this what I'm showing you now. 8 years ago, I was writing about all of this, my suspicions of what was going on. And it's been going on right the way through. And let's have a little think about Richard E. Byrd a minute. Youngest admiral in American history, a bit of a hero. We know all the narratives of what he said on the chronoscope concerning Little America, and there was a land bigger than America, just beyond Little America, and all of that. But I'm more interested in Operation High Jump. There was Operation Fishbowl. There was Operation High Jump. Now, Fishbowl, like a dome, and High Jump over what? Over the ice wall. You know, it's all of these like sort of flat earthy narratives. So yeah, Richard E. Byrd made public statements about UFOs. Some have been speculative, but they said that he encountered secret Nazi technology or a race of humanoids from Hollow Earth. Now, maybe the Nazis got their style, and not Hugo Boss at all. Maybe he plagiarized it off of Nazis from Outer Worlds. They had all that cool clothing. Because let's be honest, Hugo Boss smashed it on the uniforms, although they had a bit camp, yeah, but they're definitely better than the British officers that we had. They were rough, nasty ass uniforms. Anyway, explanation. Byrd was a naval aviator, explored, flew over the North Pole, 1926, explored Antarctica, But that's the narrative. And the Scottish guy that was a pilot on the plane, he said apparently on his deathbed that all of it was true. But again, I can't substantiate if any of it is true. But again, what I can tell you is they put it out into the narrative for us to know. Now, somebody sent me this video this week. Really, really excited. I'm afraid I had to shoot them down. I couldn't really help it. You got to be honest in the truth of the game. Because it'll come back and get you if you're not. So he's got excited and saying, look, man, watch this video. Admiral Byrd's in Antarctica. And it's dark. There's no 24-hour sun, bro. It's like, well, the claim is that it's 24-hour sun in the summer. And all of this happened in the winter. So it would have been dark, like I suggested on the moon faking video. So yeah, he went down in 1933, 35, just before the Second World War. But what I find interesting is on this movie, there's no evidence of any UFOs. But what they do tell you, and drop this little clanger here, is Byrd's second expedition to the South Pole, Paramount Pictures sent 2 cameramen along to film this expedition and appears to have liberally recreated certain aspects of the journey. What recreated certain aspects of the journey? So act it. They acted it, not the real thing. Oh, fucking hell. It's like the Iwo Jima flag, isn't it? And there's narratives about carbon monoxide poisoning, blah, blah, bollocks. But again, showing you that they were fabricating. This film is fabricated. They tell you in the description that it's Hollywood acting. Okay, so what could have caused it if this devastation in these American cities look like they've had a nuclear bomb dropped on top of them? So I don't really go with nukes, and this is loads of reasons why. This is one of them. Because when the nuclear tests were apparently happening, when the Nazis came back in Operation Paperclip after World War II, and then there's Oppenheimer, we have become the destroyer of worlds. See, Kyle! But he wouldn't have done that because he was a Jew, but you know what I mean. They started to do these tests in the Nevada desert on the white sands, etc., proving grounds. And you could go watch them like a drive-in movie. Yeah, it didn't burn your eyes out. And no, there wasn't any blast wave or radiation poisoning. It was all perfectly safe. In fact, perfectly healthy. Not dangerous at all. Atomic blast. You can go to the Horseshoe Club, downtown Las Vegas, and actually watch a nuclear bomb go off. But from the site to Las Vegas is 75 miles. You shouldn't be able to witness a nuclear bomb going off, actually, because 75 miles, that's almost 1,000 foot of curve. So you would only not even see the top of this cloud if that was a reality. Just throwing that out there. Witness the power of the atomic bomb. So yeah, you can see the genius atom split into smithereens. Again, very Disney-like, isn't it? Very movies and very just, I don't know, stupid. Very Smallville. Very, what was that brilliant film, that time-traveling film when they were stuck in that vault? Ooh, Pleasantville. Very Pleasantville. Yeah, or fluffy and let's have a nuclear family. So apparently this is a real image of a nuclear bomb going off. So not too bothered, are they? It's exploding on the end of the fucking road. Just saying. Oh yeah, let's have a pool party in Las Vegas. There it is, 75 miles away. You can see it clear as day, which is a bit strange. Oh no, check it for yourself. I checked it. I was like, how far away is it from the proving ground, Vegas? 75 miles. Fucking hell, you shouldn't be able to see that. And then I looked at the curve. It's supposed to be like 990 foot of curve, almost 1,000 foot of fucking curve. How high is the cloud? So there it is. See that little puff of smoke there? That's a nuclear bomb. That is. You better get under your table. It's going to melt your face off. Only it doesn't, does it? Because what I think is happening is it employs a load of people, shit tons of people. So it's work for the boys. Yeah, you send the American army in. This stuff's radioactive, man. It make you puke up, your hair fall out, make you a Jaffa, seedless. Apparently does that too. But there it is, a nuclear bomb going off, no problem. So what I think is going on is what they said in the Trinity test. In the Trinity test, they did a test of, apart from making a golem, who is now Hillary Clinton, they exploded 120,000 tons of TNT. And that is what you're looking at, is they're exploding large amounts of TNT, high explosive, because they're only by year. And what's that? Like a mile away. Yeah, so they would be like, so they painted like, we had the Cold War to follow all of this, where you're absolutely petrified. of the 4-minute warning. Oh my God, we're going to be eating rats, prawn cocktail crisps. That's what's coming. But it's not, is it? No one actually gives two shits about nuclear bombs. Let's all watch it. Should we have radiation clothing on? Apparently there's this poison stuff. No, don't even worry about it. It's interesting. Mercury, Nevada. Mercury got his nose in on that as well. So there you are. All stands under the nuclear mushroom cloud. It's not dangerous at all. Because they know it's not dangerous. Because they know what it is. And it leaves these, I think, inadequate craters. If I had a nuclear bomb, I'd want a crater a mile across. Big one. And it was big for fashion as well. You could sell loads of hats, nuclear. You could have nuclear hairdos like Margaret Thatcher. Or a nuclear bathing suit. A little atom bomb. Baby got an atom bomb. And you can see the proving site, proving ground during Nevada. Loads of little holes in the ground where they'd have exploded shit tons of TNT. And then they went underground and did some testing. Yeah, it's a reasonably big crater. But have you seen the Lochnagar crater that is in Flanders in the First World War? Yeah, it makes that look like a belly button. So there's that. Ah, look, let me do some ballerining while there's a fucking nuclear bomb going off in the background. Do you feel insulted a little bit? This is supposed to be a dangerous thing, a nuclear bomb. They terrified us, guys, for the whole of the Cold War. I literally would shit the bed if I thought that the nuclear... I would hear motorbikes in the night going... I'd think, oh my God, it's a 4-minute warning, we're all going to die. And I would like literally just... be in constant fear of it, planning to bug out, and how are we going to survive the radiation, and oh, what will we do? What will we do? So apparently they managed to squash a nuclear bomb into the size of a bomb or a cannon shell, stick it in this, a nuclear cannon, fire it a couple of 100 meters. The nuclear bomb, remember, nuclear bomb explodes. Everything's cushy, no worries about it. There it is, the nuclear cannon. In the 1950s. So since then, another, 50 years, 70 years later, and nothing. They haven't got any nuclear cannons, have they, on the battlefield? They say they got depleted uranium and they're all dying of sickness and stuff. But I can guarantee you that's something that the medical board gave the military before they went in, and nothing to do with that at all. So that is one way of taking out reality, which I don't think exists, but I think another technology exists. Now, this week, just bang on time for Flat Earth British Narratives. I'm not sure what day it was. I think it was about 3 days ago. I've noticed Dutch Sensi's not jumping on any of this. It's really weird, isn't it? So there's been murmurs. And if you follow my channel, I've been talking about this for maybe 8 years or so. The New Madrid event, 1811, 1812, literally restructured one side of America. It was the biggest event in American history, and it was. This entire area suffered earthquakes. This internal area here was completely devastated. And as you can see over here, they're talking about the earthquakes of 6.7 magnitude. So why do I think they're earthquakes? Well, I don't go with Teutonic movement at all. But I think it's something along what the Dark Tower movie says. It's underground. I think it's them. I think whatever goes on with them, I think it has a reverberation in our realm. And whatever's going on with them, who are underground, I think that it causes seismic activity on the surface. Remember, we're just surface dwellers. Don't think it's plates rubbing. That's all bollocks, isn't it? So this is something that's blown my mind, because I've been into it for the longest time, guys, is the Santorini event. I proposed in my first book that this event is wrongly dated, chronology-wise, and that, they've cited it as being causing the flood, the flood of Noah, biblical plagues. There's been all sorts of citation. But what you've got to think is this island was once a big mountain. And it exploded. And that is the crater of the volcano. That's all that's left. It was that big. And then they've reported all of these earthquakes happening in the Eastern Mediterranean. Now, one thing I've got is a book called Earthquakes in the Eastern Mediterranean, and they happen in earthquake... how did they use the phrase? Storms. If one starts, another starts, and another starts, and they increase on intensity, and there is one, and it's like an elastic band. Once it snaps, it snaps. I guess, and if Santorini goes up, we'll feel it in Europe, we'll feel it in Britain, and I think it has the potential to be catastrophic, like it was the last time. All them little fatty Greek islands that are everywhere are caused through this explosion. When did it happen? I said in the first part of the last millennia, is what I said. So it's livening up in New Madrid. It's livening up as well in Santorini. They've evacuated. And apparently Israel had a tsunami warning yesterday put in place, threatening tsunami for this earthquakes that are happening. So the entire region is in flux at the moment. As you can see, the population are getting the fuck out. They're going, I don't know where, other islands, maybe safer. But they have evacuated the entire of Santorini, exactly like my book predicted. What's the chances, guys? So how many of you got watching? Make sure to please, could you share this out, guys? And get some geezers. Over 816 of you watching. Thank you for being here, spending your time in life with us. And I have missed you all, guys. I was like in a grieving process. It was like I miss my friend so much. That's what Mo Sampson was saying. I missed you guys. He loves you all too. We all love one another, really, don't we? That's what it's about, isn't it, really? You don't have to say it. You just know, don't you? I love you. So it's that. Maybe that's just me. I don't know. What I'm going to show you now are fucking brilliant. These are a collection of photographs from 1915. They're the Manor expedition to Easter Island. Easter Island, South Pacific, the most remote island on Earth, and the Manor expedition of 1914, 1915. During the First World War, he manages to get there, and what he takes photographs of, and not just the Monet, the Moe. I mean, he blows my mind because he knows what to look for. So this stone, what is this language? And why is there this civilization on such a remote place? And why are they sunk 30 foot into the ground like there's been a mud flood? Some of them are not. They're just laying down. Complete mystery, as you know. I wonder why he's sitting under this one. It's like a mushroom, isn't it? But yeah, you know, it's not even that big an island. This is Phoenician. Surely. But, you know, how advanced for a small Pacific island to have a written language, or the visitors that went there. Some people say Pangaea. And these are apparently people who occupied there. They look like the Moe. They're big square-faced, big boggly-eye things. I don't know what the fuck to think about them. I don't know if they look humanoid, but not very human, really. But they got that straight nose, that Phoenician nose, you know. So yeah, some are buried in. So it's almost as if they just got here for the first time, guys, and just discovered these things. It is around that time. The Moe like are just laying down in the grass. Nobody's even paid attention to these since whatever cataclysm happened. So as you can see, it's not a very big island. There are some towns on there, and some volcanoes. It looks a bit like Iwo Jima, but a small island to have such unbelievable. I can't even imagine any other island in the Pacific, in the South Pacific, having so much rich antiquity on it for its size. Look at these things. So did they chisel them out of stone and lay them in the ground and bury them? No. So were they standing up and something hits them over like a tidal wave? The size of that tent there, these are massive, really, aren't they? Again, massive. They say, oh, they walked there and they tried to move them with wood, but they never had any trees on the island, so they didn't use rollers. So there is a mystery to how they actually got these things placed as well, because there's no trees on Easter Island. So more languages. So yeah, they had an advanced language like that, man. It's just craziness. Maybe you can identify it. I've seen some early Phoenician ideography. whatever it's called, iconography, which looks like that. So this round ball, I don't know. It could be like a giant seed or something. It even looks like a seed. We've seen a lot of images of giant seeds. But these circular balls, they're everywhere. You see them in Guatemala. You see them in Russia as well, in the tundra. The huge balls on the beach. What they are. Oh, that's interesting. Geology. There's tools that. What are we looking at there? It looks like a cross. The paintings. It's cave paintings. It is cave paintings. There's an M. Another M. See, I never knew they had cave paintings. Is this an insectoid? Wow. See, I never knew that. See, we're better than we're smashing it. We're doing better than the fucking Discovery Channel. They never show you any of this. So here's oh, bloody hell. Dingly dangly. So they got I don't know. Big ears. Maybe they got them earrings in like they have in the modern day. And these are really well carved. Really well carved. But that one looks like a little space helmet, doesn't it? With a little space. In fact, they all do. My God, yeah. Look at this thing. It looks like it plugs in, goes at the back. Oh my God, they do. They really do look like they plug in to the headwear. Oh, I bet that helps super strength, like super soldier costumes. But, you know, you won't go into battle with you, will you? Oh, that's stupid. Anyway, so I'm not sure what that megalith is. Whatever it is. Or whoever made it. So, yeah, they are really blasted, haven't they, by the weather. So, I don't know if the ones we see today are just tarted up a bit, because they never look this manky. What's that say? Is that Sedan? Something Dan, anyway. How very dare you vandalize antiquity's greatest things. But again, buried this far up, so the rest of it is in the ground. Why would they do that? Why would they even carve it to bury it? It makes no sense. And at the back of the moai, buried in the ground, are carvings, and some of them reveal things. He looks like he might be hiding something. He's got shifty eyes. Don't like his face. He looks untrustworthy. This place is just smackaroony with weird stuff. All of these faces. Did they have like an interesting mushroom growing in on this island that people were partaking and just chiseling the fuck out of the stones? So I'm going to put my face on the stone. They look a bit, I don't know if they look Polynesian or what. They don't look Olmec at all, but they look, I don't know if they look Caucasian or what. So I don't know what this designates. Maybe the mummification process that was going on the island, or something for cooking the dead. Right, let's have a look at this cave painting. Right, there's like a man-bat thing there, Batman, like the bat signal. I think this might be a chicken lady. Well, anyway, the photographer certainly knew there was stuff on there. Oh, look at that's just a pencil drawing. This one's buried up to its neck, up to its mouth. Why would you do that? Half a laying down. What do you think, guys? Some terrible cataclysm must have done this to bury them like that, and then the others laying down. Tidal wave, mud flood. You know, they carve the backs and then they bury the backs. It makes no sense. And they don't even know how they got them there. So they were standing upright on the island, which is also a mystery. I had an unbelievable guy on my show years ago, a Russian guy, and he came out with the idea of, oh, I know what they were. And I'm like, what? He said, what it is, he said, in Tatarian balloon travel, they can go around the world. And he said, and when they get to the South Pacific, they have huge nets tied off on these moais, and they catch the balloons as they're going past. I was like, right. Did you see that in a vision? He said, yeah, just now. I was like, right, cool. Who even knows? Look at that one laying on its side, guys. It's trippy stuff, isn't it? You got to imagine, like, where did they get the chisels for? Did they have like a steelworks there, or did they just rudimentarily knock them up on a fire? How did they get the tools to carve on this island? No trees, seemingly no metal. But oh yeah, they are way trippy, I'm finding. So there is stuff on the beach as well, but they're not really telling you what it is. But there are some unusual things, and they are on most beaches. I've seen some crazy big old world structures on beaches, especially around Wales, cities even, especially around Lavernock, South Wales. There's a city there. These look like trees. That really does look like a tree, doesn't it? No, it's a moe snapped. Maybe that's what they've done with the trees, made moe to the stone. That does look a bit tree-like. So there's a volcano over there, and there's some walled enclosures here as well. I've never seen them before. Some stones there. Wow, look at that, guys. Just amazing. So he's got like a belt on, or is it? He's like his hands around his belly. He's got a bit of a big belly. Wonder who they were. So I'm guessing they are humanoid. There's lots of different tales, I'm guessing, what the locals say about them. They say they walked there, but they haven't really got legs. So I seen one YouTube video years ago where they put them on the side and sort of teetered them one side on the other and tried to walk them that way, like you moving a barrel of oil technique. But that didn't work either. So the houses of Ongo, Oronogo, it's like a oregano, the islands of oregano. What are we looking at here? Oh, there's feet. I'd say that it was a critter of some sort. Can't really make that out, guys. But again, somebody made the effort to bloody carve it up. Oh, wow, look at that. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4. Why would they do that? That's just amazing. Right, I don't know what that is. It's all fudged up, but whatever it is, it was interesting to Mr. Manor. And you know what a distance to go in that era as well. You know, to this remote place, Crater Lake, Rana, Roka. So they did. I said the Manor expedition to Easter Island. So they did. I wonder if he got a balloon up to see the contours. How he managed that? Maybe maths, maybe. Yeah, they do. They do look tree-like, don't they, a bit? But wow. Put the kid next to it so you get some perspective. They just shitloads. I wonder if there's anything going on with that cliff as well. Like melted city. Maybe this place was just buzzing at one time. Well, it would have had to be. And there would have been more population. Would have had to be. Okay. Bit like you see in South America. Some stones laid. So they were. I didn't know. They were laying big stones in Easter Island till now. They're quite seamless as well, don't they? Look at that! Wow. See, I never knew that today. We learn something new every day, guys. This is brilliant. Mind you, what I knew yesterday is completely changed by the next day. What was it Henrik said in chat? Admit that you don't know anything. I don't. I'm just hypothesizing. Check it out there, offering the evidence. And some things give me goose pimples. I know that I'm on the right track then. That's what I've been doing lately. Letting source guide me and emptying my mind from confusion thoughts. And then it leads me to the correct information. I wonder if that's a burial chamber or under the island. I bet it's like you get on Iwo Jima, you know, honeycombed with caves and stuff. I bet under there. Oh, I bet there'd be some treasures under there, gold and things. And if there was, they'd have them. So yeah, and the effort as well to carve these. Oh, what is this? Well, definitely don't look humanoid. And these are dress stones as well. There was a city here, guys. I'm not sure if that's the back of a. Yeah, that's the back of a moe. I think they're wearing G-strings or budgie smugglers or something. But it is boiling hot, so there's that. And there's a shit ton of them on the hill there, all capsized. 1, 2, 3, 4. Amazing. Who knew? I better be a nice place to visit. I'm guessing that's a frog that's on a carving. So they have frogs, ribbit. I don't know. But somebody made the effort to build it. Wonder what it was. Burial. You burn people on that island or bury them. It's too small. It's only a couple of miles across, isn't it? Strange striations as well, almost like, you know, like the striations you see there. It's like they've got some power tool going on, because I can't imagine the chiseling that would take you a lifetime. Oh, right, that's in the cave. What we got? Dancing creatures, bird-like, and other things flying around as well. Something coming out of the light. And these look like antennae. The mysteries of the old world. So yeah, he takes some random shots. I'm guessing he knows what they are, and they probably are significant, especially these ones on the beach. All of these, I'm guessing he suspected was old civilization stuff. Okay, carvings in Orongo of crazy bird creatures. Just crazy bird creatures, really. Wow, that looks like it's been fucking, excuse my language, melted. That looks like it's been melted masonry. It really does. Wow, look at that. That's why he took a photograph of that. It's a bit of building. I've seen stuff like this on the beach. You can see it's like stone. It's just been like melded together, fused together through heat. I hope these are not moe. These are blocks, are they, or what? Huh? Oh, they could be moe. They're massive anyway. Look at the size of them compared to a horse. How are they doing that? They haven't even got like tech on nothing. There's a lot of anomalous stuff on this island. There's faces up there too in the stone. Wow. They're everywhere. I didn't know this either. So we got 846 of you watching. Thank you for joining Flaterday this week. We got loads to go, guys. Loads to go. And some of the stuff coming up is very mind-blowing. Very mind-blowing. So make sure to stick around to the end of the post. Make sure to share, like, and subscribe. And for those who have, big shout of gratitude to you. Thank you for doing that. A couple of thousand of you have showed up just lately, wondering what's going on. You have got to be joking. The whole thing is man-made. Yes, that's walls and stones that somebody has made the effort to put up there. Let's have a look at the size of that. That's man-made structure. See, I've never seen these in Easter Island till today, guys. Fucking eat your heart out, Discovery Channel. Somebody's laid them there in the past. All that effort with such a little population. Look at that. Again, that reminds me of Skara Brae in Scotland, subterranean settlement there. There's stuff all over carved in these stones. Reminds me a little bit of Göbekli Tepe as well, the carvings. But I think Göbekli Tepe is a little bit of a psyop going on with that. Don't trust it. I don't trust the people who talk about it fucking constantly. That's why I don't trust it. So there they are, buried in the ground, massive humanoid beings. Right, let's have a look. Oh, this looks very Aztec-y and Mesoamerican. I must say, Coaxicatl as fuck, especially with the mask. We got the alligator, Veracucha. And this looks like the Blue Meanie out of the film The Yellow Submarine with the Beatles. Same face. I wonder who he was. Jesus, and him. Oof. And Duckman. They had a Duckman. Yeah, they had some right freaks there. But who are we to judge? I'm sure they were all very cutchy. Right. What's going on here? Wow. How many? It's like 30, 40 heads on here. And all of this mountain, this stuff. Oh, I got to get on Google Earth and just like, look at this. 1, 2, 3, 4. And look, this is where they're producing them and cutting them out of the mountain. They just went absolutely nuts on making these things. I'm going to just wake up of a day, just carve a massive 30-foot high head of a person that looks nothing like human beings. Perfect sense. I haven't seen any indigenous population either since I've been watching this, to be honest. But they have crazy good earrings as well. But these Phoenician nose is definitely the long nose, the old Phoenician nose going on. So maybe they landed there, settled, but big cities. Maybe it was like because of its remoteness, an outpost, so to speak, of high civilization. Because I think this place definitely exhibits high civilization at some stage. Look at that. It's buried in the ground. They had a mud flood there too. These are buried to the neck up, so all of that body is underground. Yeah, they're mind-blowing, aren't they? Why have they got the big, heavy eyebrows, though? It's just really weird. They got the big, heavy eyebrows going on. A bit like the Dennis Healy's. Dennis Healy's about them. Not sure what that one is, but he's a sailor. He sailed there. Well, I doubt they flew there. Not in 1915, they never. Okay. And this would have been some expedition to get here. I'm guessing they went from South America, Chile, sailed here. I bet it took months, probably 3 months or something. It was that remote. So very, very impressive photographic collection by Mr. Manor, who went there in 1915 and shared what he found with us. Huge big eyes they got, straight noses, and crazy big brows that we haven't really got, have we? So I don't know. Don't think they're humanoid. It's definitely. Now my mind's blown. That looks like sexy Yuan. That looks like Peru. That looks like Inca. Perfect seamed masonry, and I've never seen that before on Easter Island. So whoever done this was advanced civilization, just like them cats that built all that funky shit in South America and Central America. Digging it out there, guys. Just mind-blowing. Look at this thing. I don't know. This is out in the sea, but tree trunk? It looks more like an old rotting tree trunk, a giant tree trunk, than anything else. I'll show you another example of one of them later. It's just nuts, that is. I think he's Indian. People from all over, I reckon, on this ship's crew. Again, dry stone walling. I've done a bit of this myself. I don't know what these are, settlements. But dry stone walling will keep you nice and cool. Look how deep they were buried, guys, in the mud. So I wonder what sort of timescale we're talking about for these peoples. Neolithic. Look at this. He's like, how in God's name are they lifting and dressing and putting these stones in place on this tiny little bleeding island, the most remotest island in the world? How are they doing it all? There's another M there, an M and an O, a present M. Right, let's have a look at the back of this, see if there's any clues. Again, it's very much like a Göbekli Tepe, isn't it, guys? They have some inscriptions on them as well. These T-bars you see in Turkey on Göbekli Tepe, is supposed to be the oldest civilization on Earth, they reckon, post-Ice Age. Hancock is saying 10,000 years ago, but I think that it's a psyop of some sort, and probably more modern than that. But these, they suffered in the mud flood. So I think these are like little table tennis bats. Maybe they were into table tennis, a bit like the people in Southeast Asia are today. Who even knows? Right, more information. 850. Have a think about this. These are reliquary devices, and you see them in churches. And what they do, guys, is they put a remnant, a bit of bone or some hair or something in a reliquary chamber, and then they exhibit it in the church. I think this is a technology because these reliquary boxes look like Antiquitech, and they have knobbly bits like a church spire, just like Antiquitech. So if you imagine this is the way I imagined it, is in the past, there was a very special type of person, a magical person, all-powerful person, that they were regarding as a saint that could do miracles. And because of this person's vibration, when they were no longer, they went over and were born, because they're already dead, they put their bone or something in here. Now, I think they were trying to amplify the magic of that person through Antiquitech. Literally, the chi energy that exists, spiraling the chi energy, amplifying the chi energy, like little guns of energy, they look like on the side. You turn them around. And there's lots of examples, and they all exhibit the same sort of, exhibit the same sort of Antiquitech. So I think they were trying to amplify these saints, whoever they were. I don't doubt that there was a race of super advanced mystical beings in this place, and I would say that they're still here now, but we've undergone a memory wipe, unfortunately. So we got to get back to remembering who we were and piecing together, which has been really, really tricky, and is literally needed a lot of thought power involved in it. So if you imagine, a bit of a saint in there, and then you amplify that energy, I bet that'd be like a magical experience. And even if it's not working on them, ideas, the way the mind is, it would work for you, because all is mind and it's what you think it is. But they do exhibit Antiquitech. I really do think, guys, that they're amplifying saint energy using the same technology as they're doing with the see, bit of saint stuff in there. Excuse me. Bit of saint stuff. And exactly the same as a church spire. Knobbly bits, the spire, circle at the top, circles. So they're just spinning chi, amplifying it onto these nodes. And then up the center one. And then it like an energy gun, if you like, for magic. Zapped with magic, if you like. So yeah, they are highly prized. They really do build these beautiful devices for saints, don't they? This one looks like something out of a Frankenstein movie. Like all of these things are going to fill up with different juices. You've got all them jewels, and whatever's happening in this glass chamber, it's going to activate these, and it's going to activate these, and it's going to do special saint magic stuff. Maybe. But they're Antiquitech. And they're supposed to be saints in them. Little churches amplifying chi energy of saints. Makes perfect sense to me, guys. And they did do it, and they are doing it. Magical properties. This is the Jesuits, as you can see. It's got a bit of a saint stuff going on in there. You can have bits of the cross of Jesus, bit of the blob of Jesus spunk. Not bad. Or anything like that in one of these things. Yeah? To amplify that magic buzz. So I think that's what they were doing with reliquaries. Taking them around the place as well. They used to put them in reliquary boxes and take them around towns and say, look at our funky reliquary thing that we built with all the money in the world. And it blew people's minds. It's like all of that just to keep a little tiny bit of bone or hair. It's like, yes. But it makes you magical if you get near it. Feel saintly, and you can do things like manifest good shit, which is what we all want, really. Food, yummies, and things like that. Look at that. That's absolutely beautiful, isn't it? Absolutely beautiful piece. Well, I'm not sure. Maybe that's gallstones, but again, it's like the lotus. So this is not even Buddhist, but it looks Buddhist, like lotus flower opening, which you get in Buddhism. Wow. So Antiquitech on fire. Look at this. Can you imagine the blast? And it's got literally the dove from above plasma blast above it. And there's all emeralds and diamonds and all of that money that the church have taken off of gullible people. They do. Anyway, images of the day. I'm going to come back for a minute, actually, give you a few shouts and see what I go on. Because I don't even know if I'm talking to myself. Nearly 900 of you watching. Ark of the Covenant was a sonic weapon, jolly man. Well, I've talked about that. You know, there's two angels on it, and they're like opposite one another. And I imagine sparks going across like some sort of plasma tech. I do envision this. This is what we're doing. We're envisioning what could have been going on. And Mel, just got in the things. You're the blob Jesus spun. I know. Okay, yeah, thank you. This is going to be even more epic. We got loads more to go. Make sure to share this out if you would, guys, please. That would be awesome. Like this video as well. If you do like it, we're going to have a little bit of a chuckle. I've gone through them all. Hopefully they're all YouTube. You know, it's pretty hard. It's like, you know, I'm a bitch to the algorithm at the moment. I've got to like fucking do as I'm told, and it feels exactly like school. I didn't like that either. It's like, get in the naughty corner, be quiet, fingers on lip. Don't show jokes. Just, it's selective though. There's videos out there, guys. Fucking hell, there's vampire films with like naked people on there and all sorts of things. And they're just picking on me. They told me to go away and be quiet, so I did. So there's that. I'm not resisting anyways, whatever. My bosses. Jason, what curve? Where's the curve? What you see here is a mirage. Oh yeah, so we got Flat Earth conventions kicking off this year. Gonna have a lot of Flat Earthy stuff. It's gonna be awesome. We wanted the Globe people to be thanked for this. Thank you for that sort of clusterfuck that they just failed drastically doing, making everyone even more fluffy and flat. Squirrel Sniper, good to see you. Okay, that's just my mind. Shake. Carbon Watcher, good to see you. Okay. You green, you. Ghost Rider in the sky. Well, listen, you just chose to be here, so I'm going to make the effort. It's Mel bringing the love and the vibration. Smooth rain. Wolf. Jeffrey Griffin. Estelle. Who's thanking our India Holistic. Okay. Holy Underpants, Batman. Holy Shark Repellent Spray, Robin. And that's what I like about him. He thinks of everything, especially shark repellent spray. If you're going to get shot by a shark, that would be fucking brilliant. So there's that. I like his style. 17 Joy, Brian, Antarcticum, and Simone, and Rain. I know. Don't worry, spring's coming. The daffodils are out, and the crocuses. It's going to be epic. We're going to go and do things. Okay, we made it this far, guys. Let's do some more. We made it this far. Flat British, Flaterday night. Woohoo! Okay, War of the Worlds. Now we're going to have a look at some stuff. There's some awesome pictures in this, I must be honest. Of my images of the week. We got loads more to go. I'm just looking at what time I started. Okay, we got awesome loads of time to go. So I'm just going to go through random pictures of all of the topics we talk about. This one was a wheel found or dug up in India, which many people think is portal technology, which I'm going to talk about in a video maybe this week, because I found unbelievable pictures of things that look like they could be portals. I think that they were doing that. I really do think that's a form of technology of transportation in the past, is walking through one and arriving in another destination. If it's not, it should have been. So NASA, oh God, I noticed Donald Trumpsky haven't mentioned them. I think they put them on the back burner, and I'm not sure about that. So in Hebrew, which is a language that they so love so much, it actually means to deceive or beguile, which make perfect sense if you watch my last video. So I talked about there being trees and forests and yummy stuff on Antarctica. And here's an newspaper on an old magazine article here that says there's a tree stump here, and they found it in Antarctica. A tree stump in Antarctica from an ancient forest. So, well, they say in ancient. This was published in 92, by the way, from National Scientific America. Trees in Antarctica. So shut your face. Shut your face, Antarctica. So, yeah, and what's happening under, we haven't got a clue. So there's a whole race of people underneath us. And they live in vault life, completely oblivious to the dwellers above, surface dwellers. They hear tales of, like we say about like the Phoenicians, and like we say about the Tartarian Sea above us. We don't even know, do we? Yeah. Well, they're the same. They're like, what is above the sky? It's like, what do you mean? It's like, is there more outside? No, this is it. What are you saying? Shit, this is the world, bro. They wouldn't even know. Like us. So I think this is a thing, okay? And there's been loads more that have happened in the last few weeks. I wonder what is going on. Of two suns ready to shine just for you. Although I do think the sun is very local and is a personal experience. Now, these, I don't like this. I don't like this. Do you know what this is? This is a human infant skull. A human infant skull. Apparently, we're born with two separate sets of teeth, and we look like Predator. I don't think that was always the case. I've seen images of skulls of infants from the past, and they don't seem to have these double layers. But oh my God, I can't believe that's us. Yeah, I know. But he can, because this is how he started. Hey, I just came to bring you your nail gun back. I borrowed it. Turns out I can't really handle it. And this is what happens with Pinhead. Hail Pinhead. So if you work in the Vatican and you take too many mushrooms, you get busy on the floor. And this is what you do. They know about this place and how it works and what the geometrical structure of this place. And this is on a church floor. Isn't that beautiful? They went nuts with the spirograph. What you doing? Nothing. Okay, then. Just make sure you're not doing anything. So this is what's happening. It's endless barrages of balloons, yeah, attacking the enemy. I think we attacked back with balloons, and they torched numerous American cities. They probably came in armadas like that, but kept it out of the historical narrative, obviously, because the victory goes, you know, the story goes to the victors. It's his story, not our story. Mostly got wiped out and replaced. This is a boob eclipse. Happened a few years ago. Yeah, obviously there's been some sort of flood off the river, and it's come this high, and then this has caused all of this river debris. Or, alternatively, it's filled up with mud from the back and it's come down to the river, because as you can see, it's coming out through the windows. I think it's more the river swelling up this high, and then later. But it looks like mudflood. And that is in Cincinnati. But this is mud flooded in. This is a beautiful little photograph of classical building. As you can see, it's become the mountain. It's been there that long. And as you can see, the statues are in mint condition. The classical world, Hellenistic period by the look of them. And this is the ground level. All of this, low ground level. And was covered in mud. They made statues really, really big. I wonder if there was anything in brass statues or bronze statues, guys, like people or stuff. Or maybe they booby-trapped Earth. I was thinking that, because they definitely got scorched Earth policy going on, because you see that by the American cities. They got a bit pissy. But I'm actually wondering if they booby-trapped Earth. I would. It's like, oh yeah, I don't like that anymore. I'll fucking blow it up on the way out. Just saying. I'm not actually sure what this is. It's a picture of the Balkans in the First World War. And they did have a bit of a war in the Balkans. Apparently very, very nasty. But there's this dome. So I'm not sure in the First World War if they're actually using dome tents. As far as I know, No, but there seems to be a large ball in a field in the Balkans in World War One. I don't know. So, like I said, you will not find any photographs of American cities in flames unless they're this, a painting. You can see it in flames, but I look in the photographs, I'm afraid I can't see any fires, only smouldering, and like it's all already happened, like a bomb's gone off. It's just like a bomb's gone off is the only way I can explain it, guys. This is in Burma. Whatever's in that tower is not there anymore. Neither is Burma. It's Myanmar now. So I think the railways were there already. Just showed you a picture of the railways being dug out. And as you can see, they're digging through a tunnel here. But that's all the room they've made is for what looks like a narrow gauge railway. But I think that tunnel was there anyway. And they just put a train through it, a track through it. See the ancient wall? Choo-choo! So, yeah, fuck you, whoever you are, Reba. Fuck you, the guy who made time. And fuck your hourglass, too. I'm going to kick it over soon the moment I see it. Fuck you. That's just me, though, guys. You don't have to. You can be nice to him. I just think, what a liberty. So how beautiful is that? I love polished floors. You don't see them enough. So what would I change? Would I have urban graffiti if I could? Just ban it all. It makes the place colourful, but it's actually very dystopic and I don't like it. So no. I want everything cleaned up nicely. I do, actually. And this sort of transport fluffing around make me very happy. Okay. Lady pilots. Okay, we'll design uniforms for them. Be very smart. Okay, it's all about presentation. So here are the people below us, okay, with the Mordor. They eat humans, human Bryans. No, you can't eat a Bryan. Bryan's too dense. You wouldn't eat a brain. Try eating a brain, you wouldn't be able to chew it. So dense. But they got light sources here and stuff going on. And as far as they know, the people who live there, this is the civilization they live in. They have no idea what is outside. I think it's definitely a thing. Look at this church, the land of giants. Tiny, tiny little people. As you can see, in the past, they didn't have pews and seats and thing. You go in there, look at the massive statues, all of the unbelievable antiquitech things going on. Look at that, all of this marble, gold leaf. Jesus. Not literally. Unbelievable. So, yeah. Look at the size of the people, though, guys. They're going in there to get their buzz on. So, these people heard the world was going to end. So, they went into their bunker that they had made earlier. And they got all our civilization going on and an endless battery supply. And they've been saving all the old DVDs that nobody wants anymore, cunningly. So they got endless DVDs. So, and all the best movies were years ago anyway. Can't remember the last good movie I seen. Florentine art, the genius of made into a cup that is part of a 3D generated city. Trippy and weird. So I wonder what Julius Caesar actually thought when he turned up and he's like, oh, fuck me, these Celts are bonkers. What they're doing is they're jamming a load of people in a wicker man. Sacrifice was a biggie with the Phoenicians. The Babylonians, they really love to sacrifice. So jam women in there, some people, close the door, set it alight. So Julius Caesar must have been, oh my God, the fucking scummy fuckers. So this is in London, and it's part of the monument. No, I think this is not the monument itself, because, yeah, it is the monument. But wow, old world engravings on it. Porter Patterson carriers for railway agents, like chandlers for trains. God, in this day and age, you can't even get anything on a train. Years ago, you used to be able to have meals, and that's just in Britain, though. All right, then. what we're doing here is we're getting some homunculus together. Now, when you do breed homunculus, which is probably who we are anyway, breeding program, cloned homunculus, which I definitely suspect, and then to repopulate and who we are spiritually, if you want to call a soul, I think it's data. They are definitely giving us a memory failure. So apparently, homunculus is supremely intelligent, and you can ask them advice and stuff, and they obviously just like know shit or everything. So homunculus, awesome. So I changed my thumbnail today. Last week I was on with Jason, and then I got copyrighted for talking about love. My arsehole itches every time Mercury goes into retrograde. So I don't really know about astrological things or astronomy either. Oh, where's he put his fingers? And because I don't really like give a shit. And plus I think it's probably a bit demonic. I didn't fucking ask to see your ugly ass baby. Oh, isn't it beautiful? No. The startlingly moist fart. They do that, animals, don't they, guys? Yeah, my friend's dog farts and scares itself and runs away. It's like, oh, and run away. I think all mammals do it. I don't, because I don't fart like the Queen Mother. No. Here's the Vatican. They are so awesome. Not. This is a saint, Saint Bernard. St. Bartholomew, another cat, okay, from the old days. And what happened to him is he got skinned. I don't know what he did, and all right, if he was still alive, but he got skinned. So do you see what he's wearing? He's wearing his skin. I'm wondering about red capes. No, that would be a horrible thought to think if red capes were skinned saints. Here's Jane Mansfield's bringing her fluffy self to a northern football game. God, I bet she was shocked. I bet she was thinking, my God, these people are ghastly. Get me the fuck out of here. So, no, I'm sure they weren't. You bag up. There they go again, like the Phoenicians, with this death narrative. Whatever. Like I said, guys, we made it this far. Let's fight on. Yeah? So, let's have a think about the way we live nowadays, okay? So hardly any of us are out of stress, and we wish they'd all fuck off. Tax, get out of my head. All of these stuff, like getting evicted. Everyone's a paycheck away from the fucking streets, and it's bitter. And all these things that tick away in the back of your mind. But look how happy these little gypsy kids are with sweet fuck all. You don't actually need much, guys. You just need stuff to eat, your bedding, stuff to clean yourself, and just like bits and bobs if you have to. These look like the happiest kids in the world and having the greatest life. On the kids now, what have they got? Sonic the fucking Hedgehog. That's what they got. They got nothing. They got no quality of life compared to what we used to have, guys. It's quite heartbreaking. This is an artist from California. I forgot her name. It's a bit Spanishy. I think she's quite an interesting person. She's drawing. What's she drawing? I don't know, but it looks highly poisonous. So, have you ever seen one of these machines? These are outside houses in the past. These are tumblers. They're little cute torpedoes, they're called. They had them in Russia. Not sure if they're nuclear powered. The torpedo washer cleans your clothes by compressed air. No gas, no steaming, no dollying, no steeping, no preparation, no tearing, tangling, bleaching, destruction. Great saving of soap. Torpedo washer from Huddersfield. Why haven't we got torpedo washers that work on compressed air and no electricity? Because we've gone backwards. So this is an old Glasgow tenement block. I've always find them fascinating because they're mud flooders and they're made of this big old stone and they're like 4, 5, 6 stories high. They used to have tenements like this in London as well when I was a kid. Thousands of people live in them and they are really old buildings. I think they're ancient. I think they're Tatarian. I do. This is the Crystal Palace, 1930s, you know, the one that burnt down. This is one of their expositions. They had an Assyrian art exhibition in the Crystal Palace, turning the people on to what Assyrians look like. So they say. So this is weird. White baby soap, the Pina soap. And this is from Lancaster, Pennsylvania in the USA. Who wants a baby soap? No, you're good. Thanks, though. So I'm not sure what's going on with this. But it's in Egypt. And it looks a bit like the columns of I'm not sure. Oh yeah, it is. This is I can't remember the biggest site ever. I'm not sure what this thing is here though. It looks like a leg of an octopus that's coming through the stones here in Egypt. Can you see that? And this year looks like a giant octopus. Anybody? Karnak. This is Karnak because I can see the knob-shaped pillars, and I know Karnak. But yeah, this is not from a movie. It's a photograph I dug out of a collection. I'm just wondering why it's got a thing like a giant octopus in the back. It's just weird. So, Kala and his amazing mystery, self-decapitation. Now, I'd really like to see that. Somebody chop their own heads off. Would you? And put it back on again and talk. So, yeah, I want to see that. This is called the theriophone, and it's a type of instrument that has little dancing people from the past and uses a loudspeaker. It looks like the Edwardian period, kind of the 20s. And I'm not sure if they had like a video. If they did have a visor, like a telly, that would have been stonking. But yeah, high tech with a speaker. Is this a good idea? To share a moustache with your twin brother? What about turning over when you're going to sleep? Having a poo? Having a woman? What about anything? I can't get my head round. It's like we weren't Siamese, so we made ourselves Siamese. And the cat that ran away with the dick. I'm not sure, but the lady you're saying, ooh, come here, kitty. I'll swap you a fish for that. No, you're good. I'm keeping it. Oh, please. I'll give you a fish. Now, I want it. Who remembers the 1970s? Now, I remember 2001 opposite Cardiff Castle. This one's on Carnaby Street, just off Carnaby Street. And it looked exactly the same. So basically, you went in there and there were space women. What I mean by that is women that were dressed like Space 1999. Yeah, in all spacey clothes. And I used to beg my mother to go in there, even as a little boy. I was like, can we go in 2001? Because it's a ladies' clothes shop. Like, it's a bit unusual for a little boy. She said, why? So, because if you went in there, you would understand. You would understand. It was, can I help you? I'm like, unable to talk because my mouth is locked open. Like, yeah, please, Mrs. Patterson. When I come back, I want to be James Hunt. I do. Yeah. Times have changed, haven't they, guys? This is the days in the past on the beach. Nowadays, people shuffle along. It's a nice little First World War French army with a little dog and a rainbow going on. They don't look in any immediate danger, and obviously nobody's going to shoot them across the field. So all's good, all's quiet on the Western Front. Happy days. This is the Derwent Dam up north, and they practice the dam busters. I do dam busters in the bath. Dam busters raid. Now, the dam busters was a very successful bombing raid in World War II on the dams of the Ruhr of Germany by the RAF. And they burst a dam and killed a ton of people. Really cruel and a terrible thing to do. But it's war. And war is hell. Anyway, so a guy that was in charge of the mission was called Guy Gibson. He was a bit of a toff, and he talked like this. What? Splendid? He talked like that. Anyway, so he had a successful bombing run, took out the dam, and as a reprisal, the Germans said, where does he live, Guy Gibson? He lives in Penarth, near Cardiff, sir. Bomb the fuck out of Penarth. And they bombed the fuck out of Penarth because of Guy Gibson. Thanks, Guy, causing all that trouble, bombing dams and getting us bombed. Twat. These are awesome.
could ruin your day. These are, well, look like gas-propelled fragmentary grenades. And if you notice, there's a little bell in the background. You can ding your bell and fire your grenades at the enemy. So I'm not sure what they did with this. I think it's a part of an aeroplane. They've cranked it up to a little engine and they're just ripping around a beach here in the war. I love war. It's the mother of all invention and necessity. You just got to invent shit, yeah? It's like Bartertown times 10, yeah? It's a member of the resistance. She's happy. Actually, she's a Jewish lady and she's just been fighting Germans in the Warsaw ghetto. And the Germans were like, fuck me. You like give a shit for weeks. You can have an official military parade as prisoners, but we will give you the respect of soldiers rather than the rest of the population. You go off to a holiday in a special kind of camp. They went into a military camp for their resistance to the Nazis in World War II. Highly interesting story. Probably an epic battle. So I have my hair's gone long again. Mel, my hair's gone long again. So I keep me out of trouble. Silicone is a key mineral found in hair, undoubtedly contributing to its antenna ability. Oh, crystals have the power to receive and transmit energy waves. And the earliest radios used quartz crystals and were crystal sets. The main composition of quartz crystal is silicone. No shit, Sherlock. Antiqua head. I knew it. My hair. It's so special. It gives me all these super abilities. I don't know. AI's making some weird, spooky fucking pictures, isn't it? And it's into weird stuff as well. This is an alchemical weirdness, meaning probably absolutely nothing whatsoever. But Jester. Oh, I'm just going to hang the washing out, honey. Oh, they're going to drop the bomb any second. Yes, I'm just going to go out to wash it. I'm thinking of it drying my washing. Honey, it's 90 degrees. This is Nevada. As you can see, she's not too particularly bothered about the nuclear bomb going off. Next field over. Weird, isn't it? This is in a suburb of Mumbai. I can't remember the name of this tower. It's been there for time immemorial, but have a look at it. It looks like ball-site strikes, so like a tree trunk. It's massive, and they never got rid of it. It's in the centre of Mumbai. What, in the suburbs of Mumbai? And it looks a bit like Devil's Tower, doesn't it? You know, with the they say they're ball-site columns, but they could be like, you know, the capillaries for trees, which look the same, fossilized. Have these long, you know, the feeder capillaries for trees look the same when they're solidified as ball-site columns. Really, why a lot of people think the trees are rocks. So this is a beautiful little Antiqua Tech building, the Mark Hopkins Mansion in California. He died. But yeah, look at all Antiqua Tech going on. It's juicy, isn't it? What a beautiful building. There's so many of these beautiful Tatarian buildings in California. You've got the Winchester House. That was earthquake proof dirty, that was. But look at that. Imagine the conservatories with all the light, natural light shining in. You've got the upper, in case it floods, you can always keep these buildings going in an event. Just beautiful, man. Just beautiful. So this is the survivors of the American Civil War. You've got the rebels over there of Lee, and you've got the Union Army over there of Grant. And a couple of years later, they're like, yeah, let's not shoot at one another anymore. Let's just shake hands. Or more, let's pretend we were shooting at one another. Because there's no evidence that any of this shit actually happened. And you didn't get this shit with Germany and fucking Britain, guys. There was a lot of bitter animosity. My mother married a German once, went to live in Germany, and the grandmother was like, I fucking hate British people. She had to come home because of the war. It was like literally fucking grained in for at least 2 generations. So, not now. Nobody gives a fuck anymore. We all, you know, so all the same place now. So, yeah, I think these two were. It makes no sense anyway. The whole narrative is a cover story for taking out of Tataria and my things, and the reconstruction of the 7 states. It was a war of northern aggression. There was ethnic cleansing going on. It was a terrible time for a lot of people. This is my first draft of my biography. It's coming on well, guys. Yeah, you want to hear the sequel. This is just the preface. We found Elon. Chinese Elon exists, guys. Yeah? Have you ever seen him before? I wonder if he knows. So, predictive programming in cartoons. We know this happens all the time in The Simpsons, but this was in a Simpsons cartoon a little time ago. And as you can see, it's a plane hitting an helicopter. But it's not over the plateau, Mac, but you get the idea. They do this a lot. Yeah. This is in Milan in Italy. This is a most beautiful, I can't remember the designer's name. But you've got to think to yourself, they must have been designed for giants initially. Look how beautiful it is. And look how little and tiny the people are compared to this. All that natural light flooding. And it's there today. You can go there in the modern day. Isn't that beautiful? But isn't it massive? The land of giants. Who remembers clackers? Have you ever had your hands or anything jammed in a clacker? Ever sat on a bollock? Well, clackers were banned in 1981. They were too noisy and they smacked too hard and they shattered children's brains because they shattered and they caused problems. We had conkers. Nobody seemed to matter in Britain. And then we had clackers. Like they banned space dust in Britain as well because people were apparently using it for sexual things. It's like everything's got sexual permeation. I bet clackers did. Look at this. American singer, songwriter Stevie Wonder defends Diddy. He didn't see anything illegal. Headless Horseman, I believe. I believe in Headless Horseman. I think they're real. I think that Headless Horsemen exist. I think they were chaps with just their bare chaps with no head. When she's mad at you, I love you. Good for you. Oh, come on. Life is funny. Oh, I had a visit once from the succubus. Yeah, what's happened at sea? I'm not going to give you the glory details because it's YouTube. Look at these old... This is what happens in old age. They all dress alike and they all grow old, my mentality. I ain't fucking doing that stuff. I'm going to stay young in my head forever. I'm going to be young, old, not playing. Ooh, don't look at me like that. What are you thinking? Why are you looking at me so intensely? What are you thinking? When am I going to drop? Listen, I'm going to hang around forever just to spite your fucking ass. That's what I'm going to do. And I'm the most stubborn person in the world. So there's that. So who wants to buy a baby? Oh, in the past, you could go and buy yourself an infant. Yeah, a living baby in an incubator. 1 and 6. And you could take it off, and then it basically just a tiny little baby, point at it, and then pick it up in a few hours, and then it'll be 16 years old. It's awesome. More of Glasgow. This building is no longer exist. It used to be the Clydeside Bank. You know, I've never been to Glasgow, but I'm really into, what I've seen the pictures of it. But I don't know much about Glasgow except for Rebsy Nesbitt, and I can't understand a fucking word he's saying. I can understand his wife, but I can't understand Rebsy Nesbitt. So there's that. But you see the Moorish, sort of Baroque Phoenician thing going on here. But Antiquitech. Antiquitech. It's got knocked down, though, unfortunately. All of these beautiful, but you can look, it looks definitely a bit Ottoman on top, doesn't it? The size of it as well. But all British city centres got these unbelievably big old structures, all boarded up, man. They don't do anything with them, and there's all these homeless people. It's fucking disgusting. See, this up in Times Square, we're coming M&Ms. But did you know M&M's shells, despite that alarming news, are made of shellac, which is insect shells. You're eating insects if you eat M&Ms. And M&Ms is 33 Gematria, Krabby Dick's, Delaware, Marketplace and Grill. Each eat our balls with our homemade semen sauce. Oh, they've done that on purpose. Here's New York, SkyTrains in the past. Better before or better now? Electric sky trains. Absolutely fantastic. Look at that. A bloody brilliant shot of antiquity. I time travel in my mind anyway, so I don't need to time travel physically, although I would like to do that. But I got vivid imagination, so I can close my mind and just envision these places. And I have a little like movie in my head. And then I write stuff down and then I post about it. This is the Boer War. I should look into it more. I think there was definitely some sort of really bad happenings there with the poor people who lived there. But we went there and killed a lot of people. This looks like a load of bones to me. And I think they're being loaded on this train. But that is near the equator in Congo, in Africa. That was an amazing large civilization that got suppressed as well. Oh, that's something that turns my stomach. I really can't stand ivory. And it should be banned worldwide. I think it is, except for the Chinese are still into that shit. Elephants, up to be some of the most beautifulest animals. You know, horses, elephants, donkeys. On Earth, how can anyone hurt an elephant? The karmic payback for doing something like that must be massive. Must be massive. They're going to come back as a British person if they're not careful. So this is out of an emblemata, one of my old books, and you can see the orb, crucible, in flames and eradicating society. Now, I think these orbs that you see the Queen holding in her hand, I think it's just a model of a weapon that is used by other technologies from other places, is what I think. So Canada postage stamp, they didn't start till 1880s anyway, but they're commemorating in 1898, and we hold a vaster empire than has been, except for Tartaria, of course. So when I was a kid in school, they did the same thing. They're like, all the pink bits on the map belong to us. What about the other stuff? Oh, we don't think about that. Just the pink bits, us. We have it all. So here's H.G. Wells. Some of the really cool illustrations from War of the Worlds. An 1880s brilliant sci-fi book that made it into later publications as a series as well. And they came out with these pods, and they're like these. And they invaded London in the narrative. They had the Martian flying machines. Now, I had a dream when I was about 16, 17, and I heard this, like in the dream, I can hear this whirring noise. And I go out the street where I live in my dream. And they're the tripods coming down the street in the air, like War of the Worlds tripods, not like these, like the one in the first Colour movie. And they were firing laser beams as well, and like lighting up the woods and stuff. And I was like, fuck me, it's the fucking aliens, they've landed. And that was in my dream when I was 16. H.G. Wells. It's definitely made an impression on me. And my name, Martin, is one letter away from Martian, for fuck's sake. Think about it. So he doesn't look very happy, him, out in the streets of London. He's got a gramophone and he's playing old records. Don't know what he's playing. I don't know what music they were into back then. It's all classical, wasn't it? A bit of Ivan Novello. Blech. A bit of Tennyson. So here's an old map somebody sent to me, which they were quite mind blown by. Because every time somebody finds Tartaria on a map, they're like, ooh, I got to tell mine. But it is really interesting for this reason. It shows Tartaria Minor lower than other maps. In fact, it shows the Crimea, the Crimean Peninsula, and the Ukraine as being Tartaria, which I think is really interesting. It's usually a lot further north, but on this map you're seeing it coming all the way down to the Black Sea. Interesting. A lot further south. Okay. This is Jetty Lee out of Rush. I'll give it to you that I do look a bit like Jetty Lee, because when I saw this photograph, I stopped and I was like, "Fuck me, am I talking to Pete Townsend?" And then I looked and I was like, "No, that's that Jetty Lee out of Rush." And shit, yeah, he does look a bit like me. So I'll give you that. Kazaria, yes, Mag. Okay, I'll give you that. I do look a bit like Jetty Lee. Weird. She looks happy. Spending an hour in a mushroomy world, chilling out, no cares, and just being, which is good. It's good to just be and not think about stuff. A lot of people think, and then they like if they got troubles, they concentrate on their fears. So here's another moon hoaxy thing. Come on, guys, you can see the studio set in here. There is a line you can see, a clear, distinctive line there, which should be there, and you can see a hotspot caused by artificial light source. But in this shot as well, I showed you there's two shadows on the leg, which shouldn't be. So that's a nuclear thing. Look how beautiful it was in the past. Look how many people used to cram on a car. Some of these were electric as well. These are called shadow bangs. This is an electric one, obviously. There's no engine in the back. In the front, excuse me. I think that one is electric. But they used to have a ton of people on them. Just look at everything. Spotless, no vandalism. Everyone looks like they actually belong in that country. And the plaques with no information. Previous civilization eradicated, covered over, and stolen. God, they must have been so jealous of Tartaria. Blame them. It was a golden era. It was a golden age. We had everything. But that's where they specialized, the Babylonians, isn't it? In turning everything to their world, which is not our world. And we're not like them. We're not like anything like them, actually. Nothing like them. In fact, we're nothing like we thought we were. I'm finding. Which is a miracle in itself. These are London shoppers in the Edwardian period. And as you can see, everyone is turned out fantastically. Everyone. And everyone wears a hat. You'll never see anyone without a hat in the Edwardian period. I think this is a Klimt. I think this is when Klimt discovered LSD. It's like, let me paint you, love. And he's like, whoa, whoa. And then he shows her later and she's like, fuck me. Zoom meetings are just modern seances. No, they are. There's someone who wants to join us. Elizabeth, are you there? We can hear you. Can you hear us? Yes, I'm just trying to connect my microphone. Look at this. That's a brilliant moment of genius there. Can you see this? A ham and cheese Trumpski. A ham and cheese Trumpski. Who knew, guys? God, life is so sweet sometimes, isn't it? Meet King Kong titty slide. Now, I don't think you should have that at a playground as well. And plus, it's a little bit confusing for male and females alike. There's a picture of St. Petersburg in the past, completely devoid of people. Has no population because I think everybody was dead. That's what I think. Check this out for the last juicy image of the day. So on these above rail things that they had throughout America, or New York at least, there are cars on them. I'm wondering how commonplace this was, yeah, to just rip along on your car to your destination. I think it's probably much more commonplace. So how cool is that? How cool is that? What I do, guys, to share my pictures, I upload them to my Google Pics. And then I can, like, literally, instead of searching Google, I can search my own later. Texas as it was, Balkans, World War I, Color, San Francisco, you've yet to see. Woodstock honeys. Let me just have a look. Right, let's have a look at the world that was. Turn on your mind, relax, and float down mud. It is muddy. So we all went through our festival phase, didn't we? Yeah, it took me a year or two to be cool festival. Yeah, eventually I became festival. But at first, I was a novice. I couldn't even dance properly. I thought I couldn't dance properly. In fact, I got a lot of rhythm. But at first, I was like, I got to become one of these festival people and and do festival things, and then I can be by these fluffy festival women. Oh, in front of the Retender in San Francisco. Janis Joplin. They do a lot of Horace the old one eye thing, symbology in the psychedelic era, don't they? So Acid's only £1 in Woodstock. He's happy. He's like the happiest man in the world right now. Because he took 100,000 with him. He's going to buy a small island. So let's have a look at TV cameras in the 1960s, the end of the 60s. Jeez, he got the job, haven't he? Cool little job that is. So, smelly fucking hippies. They don't pick up their rubbish, do they? So there's that. So, yeah, I wasn't really into it because of the health, because they were unhygienic. And I'm a bit of I like things clean, and noticed how dirty they all were. So I wasn't really into it. I went off and lived in a forest for a while, as well as a hippie. Sagnac Forest, was it? Anyway, it was in England land. And festivals for years on end, I went. Yeah, I know. Some things have changed, not for the better, guys, not for the better. Yeah. This is the society we lived in. I know. Where everyone was beautiful. They look like AI, but they're actually real human beings. Blemish-free, pristine human beings. Which you don't really get anymore because everyone's like polluted, aren't they? With like the stuff that makes them blob out. I'm not sure what's going on. See this, what he's doing there. Yeah, that's dangerous. I've literally come off a bike doing that. And I did that once, and I walked into a lamppost and I embedded my glasses into my eye with a lot of blood, which is why I've got a scar of my eye, because I embedded my glasses into my face. Yes, I was seen by multiple people. This is another thing we did in the past, hitchhiking. Completely safe business. Nothing ever went wrong. And I've hitchhiked all over Europe. I've hitchhiked all over Britain. And I always have my thumb out. Like sometimes I would like, I ain't got much money. I've got enough to eat. I ain't got no money to go anywhere. So I used to get onto the M4 motorway here, stick my thumb out and get to London. And then go on from there. I found myself in fucking Holland and all sorts on no money, just breaking pattern and getting the fuck out there. Guys, that's what it's all about. Living your life. While you're here. And why wouldn't you? Right, so let me just show you a minute. On my photo drop, I got Flat Earth British photo drop. There's 14,000 on there, photo drop 1. And we've got photo drop 2 with 20,000 images. So stuff that I've uploaded, stuff that Lee has uploaded, Flat Earth British as well. We share them, and other people have been posting on there. But the rule is this is for antiquity, not family snaps, is what some people have been doing just lately. So we don't want that. We want juice. And we can use this then as a resource instead of diminishing Google. 20,000 juicy images. Imagine how many posts I could make out of this stuff. So that is the photo drop, which we have. And it'd be a good idea if you get on the Google photo drop for shares and everything else. So let's have a little look at what they got in the future. So I think the future is in the past. I think this dystopic civilization that they do in these imageries of huge skyscrapers. This place looks like Dubai early. I really do think that these did exist, but in the past, and then just got fused and then looked like some cliffs and stuff. But yeah, the flying machines all wiped out and vanilla skies, and some of these buildings survived this period. This is not the future. I think this was the past. The size on these monuments. That's a human dot. Again, looks like fasces. Looks like a gun. Again, another idea of buildings that existed, these huge domes, tiny little people. Tiny little people. What if They had cities that were on stilts, up in the air, out of the way. It's a bit like mortal engines, isn't it? Great if they were on wheels and they could actually get around. So how many we got? We got nearly 900 of you watching. Thanks for being here this week, guys. We've still got quite a way to go. I'm going to come back, give you all shouts, hang out for a bit. Going 2 hours. I'm guessing I could squeak out another half an hour. Been loads of content to come in the near future. I've been writing like an absolute lunatic. So there's that. Check these submarines floating. Obviously, it's not a real footage image, but it gives you the idea of the sort of craft that they might have had in the past. I'd love to think that they had these things floating around. Ships of the night. So, yeah, huge, humongous architecture, I think, existed. Some of it's still here. Belbeck, we've all seen that. Huge bridges in the past like this. And maybe the buildings that we're seeing now are just what was left of this world that they say was all just like the Middle Ages, throwing pee out of the windows. But really it was like that. Or more like that. Future dystopias, to me, all happened in the past. Because it's looping. We're on the way there. It's jolly exciting. Look at how massive these things are. Look at that. Whew. Can you imagine seeing if that existed? So, they are fanciful, but they are ideas of what the world could be. What about domed cities up on stilts, above cities? They were on about doing something similar with an airport over London back in the 70s, but they never did it on stilts. Over the Thames, they were planning it. But what if they did have look at this domed civilization, just like what we're in? It's crazy good. So I hope you enjoyed the show so far, guys. And this week, I've been really excited to get back to Flat Earth British things. I have, and to spend time with you all, because I missed you all. And now we're going to look at Texas as it was. Some mind blows in this, actually. So I love Texas, as you know, year before last. Friends, close friends there. And I lived there. I lived in Texas for probably 5 months, actually, of the year before last, and I fell in love with the place. The climate, the people, the food is fantastic. You know, the only negatives I can think about Texas is it's so fucking expensive. Apart from that, absolutely amazing. So these are in Texas, and it looks like they've just been building this stuff. They did have an exposition in Dallas. I think it might be part of that. There's a Crystal Palace still in Dallas, I've seen. So we went up to go into this building. This is Texas Capitol building in Austin, and I love Austin. I thought it was an amazing city, I gotta be honest. But this thing was massive. We were gonna go in there, me and Cheryl, but they wanted to fucking dab us down with like a magnet and stuff. I literally got a photograph outside here by a Texas trooper. Apparently you're not to talk to them because they shoot you and stuff, but I literally stank of weed. He smiled. He was really lovely. 1877. Adolf Dress. I don't think that's a popular name in the future. Druggist. I wonder what drugs they got in these. All of them, I expect. Josk Brothers. Know where they're from. And look at that up there. Old world thing. So there's a lot of... I find it fascinating that... I think that I'm still on Route 66. I don't actually think that I actually got off. I spent so many hours on this road, it's hard to even believe. But think about this, guys, right? Is all of Central America, Guatemala, Mexico has got all remnants of antiquity of Mesoamerican society, the Aztecs, the Mayans, the Incas, etc. Yet Texas was Mexico. And so was Arizona and New Mexico and California was all Mexico. before the Americans took it off of them. And where is the pyramids and all of the antiquity that they got in the rest of Mexico? In Texas and everywhere else in Southern America. It should be there, guys. It should be covered in pyramids. This is the Alamo. And look, you've got snow in San Antonio. Snow in Texas. They did have snow, which I find weird considering it's subtropical. But look at that antiquity, that size of that building up on the hill. Whatever it is. I bet it's an asylum or something. Greco-Romano columns on it. Just up on a hill. And this is Main Street in Alpine, Texas. Alpine. Yeah, they got a lot of alpine forests in Texas. So this is one of my favorite places. I love it here. This is Galveston in Texas, Galveston Island. Being here plenty of the best times ever. It's like Porthcawl in Wales. It's not posh. It's the people go there. I don't like all that bumfluffery me. I'll suffer it and all of that, and I can do it. But I like stuff, people stuff. You know what I mean? This is Dallas's skyline in the 1970s. God, it's changed so much. Blows my mind now, Dallas's skyline, I've got to be honest. So this is Main Street in Houston, Texas. A lot of cars going on. Some sort of commemoration for something. I don't know what. Probably Civil War. May 7th. There you are. The date's May 7th. And there it is in the modern day. Oh, excuse me, in the 1950s. We got a lot of skyscrapers going along here. But I've been up and down this strip a lot. And it is steaming fucking hot. Boiling hot. And there it is further back in Austin. This was apparently the first Capitol building for Texas. This is not resembling the one we got today. It's like a little White House affair. And this is the main drag in Austin, which is just like the Wild West. This is a really early photograph. They got the telegraph, so it's after 1850s. Craziness. And the Dallas skyline. I don't know what this aqueduct is or this massive thing here. Maybe a motorway. But you can see they're just starting to skyrocket it. Dallas now in the modern day. Jesus. It's skyscraper city. And that's that same muddy road as I just showed you going up to Capitol Building in Austin. Keep Austin weird. So a lot of problems in Austin you don't get in other Texas cities, like the mass homelessness that we witnessed and vandalism and stuff like that. You get all the liberal types moving there, and it's like the rest of the fucking place. All America's getting sorted now. Look at you. Medway. They had a sort of, I guess, in a theme park going on here in Dallas. The Medway theme park. Big roller coaster. I like a roller coaster. I like it when the bolts are loose. So I got a photograph in front of that. Houston had thick snow. And they did this year, didn't they? Which is weird, isn't it? So close to Mexico. Bet all of these trees that are not really snowproof get killed and stuff. Look at that. They got the fucking space shuttle going off. Get that predictive programming in anywhere, won't they? Houston, we have a problem. I didn't want to go to NASA. I've been to a space agency. I went to Leicester Space Center. It's stupid. I don't want to do it again, so I didn't go to NASA. I had no feelings to go to NASA. Plus, flat Earth British in NASA. They're going to know the moment I walk through the fucking door, aren't they? So, look, Fort Worth Stockyards. Love that place. It's where Archaix had his first meet-up. And other meet-ups as well. I think Stockyards, where I seen them long-horned bulls. And some Texas honeys. Oh, yay. Galveston Beach in the 70s. All of that. Women's and weeds and ice creams and heat. And this is San Antonio again. One of the biggest, fastest growing metropolises in America, I hear. Metropolis-wise, it's massive getting San Antonio. So I read. The biggest upcoming cities in America. Texas is its own country, isn't it? That's what I noticed. Apart from it being ultra-conservative and a police state, and completely different to the rest of America, I noticed. Get over the border to New Mexico, it's like fucking hell. Chalk and fucking cheese. It really is. New Mexico's enchanting, though. It's beautiful. The atmosphere, people, the weed. I know. Life's not all about that, man. I know that. It's just... I've been in a Piggly Wiggly. I've never been in a Piggly Wiggly. I've been in like Wendy's and that. I had instant shits when I went in Wendy's. I don't know what happened. Just didn't agree with me. Fucking straight through me. Fucking Wendy's. Fucking, I was like an atom bomb in my stomach. So here's Main Street, Austin, 1913, just before the First World War. Congress Avenue, they call it. Bloody lush. All them old Phoenician decorated buildings. Yay. So they got a Rome. This is a custom house in Rome, Texas, a Roma. So Italians, we can see Welsh influence there, Italians as well, Germans. So we got the cotton. Who the cotton picking is going to buy all this cotton? Well, I'm sure you're going to sell it and go off to Britain. New York clothing house, cotton exchange. So imagine them. Millions that were earned in the cotton exchange selling cotton to clothe the world of nice silk sheets, whatever they did with cotton. Dry goods, ladies furnishing, clothing and gents. Okay, everyone's got a hat on. Did you all buy your clothes in there? Because you all got exactly the same on. Every one of them looks like a clone of one another. That's in Hereford, like the one on the borders of Wales. Hereford, where the Mappa Monday is. Yes, that Hereford. They got a Hereford. So there's the Welsh influence. We got Italian influence. We got a Welsh influence there in Texas. But the population got to be made up of somebody, because obviously it's not the Mexicans, because it's not theirs anymore. I don't know why I'm laughing. That's the way the shit goes down in this place. Britain are the worst of it. We took everywhere over. We gave it all back in the end, but we nicked all that good shit before we gave it back. We're not fucking stupid. Okay. Here's a day out at the Alamo. And then somebody threw out the Mexican. They used to have statues in here. This is like a Greco-Romano temple. And it's a bigger complex than I actually thought. There's a photograph of it here. The Alamo is a bigger building than I thought. It's a warehouse, in fact. So it's quite sizable. Would have had to be to have all of them soldiers. Bloody hell. So the narrative for that is about as believable as the OK Corral. So you only had one gunfight in American history that we all know about. I'm sure you had more. Oh yeah, Valentine's Day Massacre. Oh, that was good. Then the 80s came and then it made an all-American psycho, didn't it? So yeah, Texas is awesome. Some brilliant architecture in Texas, I must admit. And very surprising, all these old buildings, I think. Okay, wonderful, awesome beings. Let's venture further. So these are the only colorized pictures that were taken of the event in San Francisco, 1906. And as you can see, the size of these buildings. This world is just starting to tart it up again. You can see the scaffolding going up on these large buildings that have survived. And you can see the call center. So this is Market Street going down to the ferry terminal. Huge piles of rock, apparently from this earthquake event, which didn't budge these, but the fire bloody did. It's mad, isn't it? 1906, it's clear as that. These photos are mad good. But really, honest to God, it just looks like a fucking nuclear devastation site. You know, you compare these shots with, I don't know, Dresden or Hamburg or some of these heavily bombed cities in World War II, Rotterdam, and it looks like that. Rather than, you know, a sporadic fire or fires and an earthquake. So it was really selective. Some areas completely wiped off the face of the earth and others completely unharmed. These old Italian buildings. But these blocks here missing. And look at that skyline. Wow, it's like a movie. But that's real life. Blows my mind. They should have done more movies on San Francisco earthquake. I think there's only that one, isn't there? With is it Clark Gable? I don't know. It wasn't all that good anyway. So there's that. So do you know in Russia when it's the Tsar Nicholas's birthday in the late 1800s, they rolled out the carpet. In fact, they did a lot. They tidied the buildings up. So this is the center of St. Petersburg, and they did Moscow as well. They tidied it all up for the coronation of Tsar Nicholas. And what would this be in antiquity? I've seen the same one in Detroit. I don't think it is a lamp of any sort. I'm not sure what it is. And what is exactly doing there? I don't know. But look at the effort. So this is in the days before any cities in America are electrified, guys. And this entire building is rigged out in light bulbs. Do you find that fascinating? What is that on top? Light up thing up there for him as well. So yeah, they're in the process of doing these buildings. You'll see lots of ladder leans. There's one of those ray antenna things going on there again. But yeah, look at this. Chinese pagoda in Russia. Antiquitech. Oh my God. It's an amazing building, this one. So yeah, they rigged it all out with beautiful flags and beautiful colours for the Tsar, as I said. And wow, everything electrified as well. I've got a couple of pictures of this electrification. Look at these, all bulbs. Jesus. The rest of America haven't even got it on yet. The rest of the world, I mean. Look at that. Seriously, no people around, though, for a building that's big. Where's the people? There, 1, 2, the size of it. Ladder going up there. Do you know what I find stupid? The narrative for attacking medieval castles with the ladder. I just don't buy that. Push a ladder up, you go up the ladder, whoever's at the top of the wall is going to push a ladder over. You're just definitely never going to get anywhere. If there's anyone on the wall, you're going to die. And there always is. So there's no point doing it. So I'm not really buying ladder attacks to medieval castles. It makes no sense. I'll have to do a video on it, maybe. Oh, there's a few more people around. Wow, look. I would like to go up that ladder, though, all the way up there. Although I do go high. I haven't got a thing with heights. The thing is, you just don't fall, do you? Wow. Imagine that all electrified, guys. How beautiful it would be. Well, we'll have a look in a minute. Oh. Bunko booth. Antiquitect. So they don't do anything like this. And they used to do stuff like this in Britain for like Jubilee and stuff like that with the royal family, but they don't do it anymore. You're not allowed to do Union Jackie things anymore. I don't think it's allowed. So that's a fountain there is, but you never see it active. This square. But wow, imagine how beautiful it would be with all the people out and all the colour. Ah, wow. Is that a wind? It's like a windmill thing without the props. Beautiful. Don't know what to make of that tower. And there is the Romanovs, who were a dynasty that have been in charge of Russia up until this period for around 600 years. And they got taken out by the Bolsheviks, who are you know who. So yeah, all the ladders. Look at these. You see any wires? No, not really. Yes, I can, maybe. Maybe that's the telegraph. Wow. So they're not as rural and backwater as they lead us to believe, are they? Not with their cool shit. But Stalin will, when he gets in charge, will declare war on the peasants of the countryside and make sure that they all die. So as not to bring down the tone of the country, you know. So basically, he's like, I'm killing all the scummies and all of the academics. Oh, and any intellectuals and creative people. We'll get rid of them too, because they don't really like them in a communist communist dictatorship, free-thinking people, because they think against the collective, the communist collective. Very indicative of what is going on in the modern day in Britain. You can't say anything about anything anymore. Not here. Not that I would anyway. And I don't say things against my government. I don't resist. I love my government. No, I do. They have nurtured me and looked after me all my life. And I didn't want my family to survive. I'm glad they got rid of them. I know. Just got to lie to it. Tell it lies. The construct is listening, remember. Can't read your mind, but it can feel your emotions. And if you put emotions behind them feelings, there's an effect on the sim. It's a really neat trick with the mind to be able to pull off what I'm pulling off, and other people in this genre are pulling off. And it is a world-changing form of mind power. It's amazing, and it blows my mind. But it tears back all the layers, and it makes you humble, man. Makes you fucking ego don't even come into it anymore. I don't even give a shit anymore. It's weird how much I've changed. But that ego thing is just like it's an act to navigate the realm, isn't it? You know, the tough walk, the act this, the act that. It's just like to navigate with the people in this place. But when you're like just yourself, loosey goosey, just being you, people don't know what to do. When you're not in the collective, the alarm bells start fucking ringing. They're like, shit. I've seen it panic on people's face. I had one guy, listen to this, in a supermarket. He took one look at me and he jumped into the cornflakes and everything, like literally in a panicked fit. I only walked past him. I was like, I'm not going to hurt you or anything. Don't panic. Just a look at me. He literally flung himself into the fucking... I was like, wow. Crazy effect. So look at that, fully illuminated. The Kremlin in Moscow, this was. The coronation of the Kaiser. All electrified in the Kremlin too, and all the bridges must have been quite a sight. So there you are. Let's come back for a minute. I'm sure there's a lot of people still in chat. I don't really know because I've been talking for so long. Yeah, nearly 800 people. Fuck a duck. So are we all doing? You happy? 799. Make sure that if you did, please. Oh, thank you, Dale Johnson. Love, light, laughter from here and ever after. There you are. So it worked. Starstruck. Yeah, I guess that people with me, they're like, oh my God, I'm starstruck. And I'm like, yeah, well, I ain't. I don't do it. I've met shit tons of famous people. And I just don't even give a fuck. It's stupid anyway, because, you know, we're all equal, really, in souls, aren't we? You don't stink, Matt. Thanks, Spider. I don't, mate. I smell fucking lush. Steve Richards. He always says I smell. Steve, you do. That's you, that is. Not me. Stickhead. Combat Fit. That's my friend Steve. Don't worry. Okay. Isabella. Good to see you, bro. So, what do you think of my last video? If you haven't seen it, I'm going to connect it. Would you do that for the honors for me, Hippie Shake, darling, please? Link up if you haven't seen my last video. It is the intro to this video, and it's got quite a bit of attention, actually. There's hundreds of people commenting on... oh, thank you, Kat. On my idea that the moon landings were not actually faked in a Hollywood basement wholly. We having a smell of. But in Antarctica, I think it makes perfect sense as well. I think I put a good case down. And a lot of people say I did too. So I think there's that. Max, good to see you. Is it good to be back on a Flaterday? Woohoo! I'll be back this week. Now, next week, I'm going to be on Paranormies show. That is, I'll keep an eye for that. I'll link it up as soon as it arrives. That'll be next weekend after Flaterday. And I'll be on there with Skull and Johnny and all the boys, chewing a fat in America land. Annie. So we're doing that. Jamie Fender. Fender's my family name. You're in North Shields. So my mother was Carol Fender, and all my family. I look like a Fender, not a Stratocaster. I mean, the family look. Fender's got a certain look. They're dark. The women got big bumps, and my family seems to be a trait with Welsh little Welsh ladies. Big bottle. So tickets to So this is what I'm going to talk about now. So there is conventions coming. There's a big one coming in Venice. Now, if you do fancy a trip to Venice, this one's, if you book now, it is quite inexpensive. There's going to be some of the biggest names in flat Earth attending. Sargent, Patricia Steer, DJ Curious. That's just some to start. Oh, Eddie Banjo as well. Fucking love Eddie. Can't wait to meet that man as well. And that is in Venice by a friend of mine who's arranged it, Albino, who's been friends of mine for years. He's organised other stuff that have fallen through because of COVID, but now they're coming. They're happening. So we've had to we've literally lost, I think it's 3 conventions or 4 because of fuckery. But now, and this one I'm really looking forward to actually, because who would fancy a trip to Venice? So the link is in the description box below. There's a video where it'll link you up and you can book early. And then it's not too far from the main square. It's quite central. The hotel is very nice. The convention will be held in there. It's on the 12th and 13th of July. So it's going to be fucking beautifully hot. It's going to be lush. This is Italy, okay? Just think of all of that. Yummy pasta, tagliatelle, coffee. They do yummy coffee in Italy, don't they? So, yeah, we're going to go and check out the architecture as well, do a bit of filming, hopefully. And that is the plan. And in September, the Alien event, I'm going to be doing by Zoom because they're not buying me a ticket to go all the way to LA, and I haven't got many. So I'm not going there. And plus, it was all a bit strange, and I'm a flat earther, and they're all about space and shit. So save myself the agony of having to go through all that. I'll just do it on a Zoom for them. But this is going to be good. Campbell and Kelly are going to this. Campbell autodidactic, Kelly Italian Australia, and load of big names. I can't really tell you right now, but just think of the biggest names in truth, and they're going to be here. And these people who do an Acapulco gig in Mexico, the biggest one. So this is going to be I'm not sure if it's going to stay in Mexico, but this is going to be as big. This is going to be the British one of this. Illuminate and Alleviate. Okay, it's in Emerson Cottage. Google it. It's a really, really lovely place. And all of this is linked below in the descriptions box. Vegan and gluten-free options. But it's an alcohol and free event. But they don't say about other things on there, so that's going to be good. I don't even mind. I don't drink, really. And so early birds, 200 quid. 200 quid, which is not fucking bad for the amount of speakers and the quality of what you're going to be seeing there. So there's that. So, and I'm sure there'll be a lot more coming up in the near future, because usually it goes like that. Getting gigs. There's always the end to Flaterday. Oh, Venice is beautiful. I've been there before when I was in the 80s, though, actually. When I was in the merge. Went there. A place called Chioggia, just across the water from it. I've been everywhere, really. I was in the Merchant Navy, so I got to travel a lot when I was young. And I've been traveling a lot for years anyway. So the glassworks, yeah, they do glass blowing. Do you know the trick with glass blowing? Never suck. Never suck with glass blowing. Always blow. It's like, oh, shit, I just breathed in. It's like, don't breathe in. Don't breathe in. I had a go of glass blowing in Blackpool. I did. I had a go. And literally all of that. It was really good as well. I thought it was Blackpool used to do glass blowing. You could make sticks of rock in the past, like real rock, candy rock. I did that too. Don't do anything like that anymore in this country. Thanks for being here, guys. My God, so many people, 800 plus, all having a good time, all feeling the love. Flat afternoon with Matt and the gang. Thank you all for being you, because you're awesome. Yeah, you. You're the one reading it. Oh, thanks, Matt. Maximus. That was really nice, and I feel exactly the same. Such an awesome gathering of human beings, man. Wow. Yeah, it's a bad thing to suck. No shit, Z by X. So, Mitzi, she's giving us the loves. Lowry is in the house. Good to see you, Lau. What's happening? Me old mate and Eppie's in the house. What do you think, Eppie? You always got an opinion. What do you think about things? Pinotto. Hey, it happens. What happens in Blackpool stays in Blackpool. Yeah, my mate went to a stag do in Blackpool. He got tied naked to a lamppost, and there was like all women like doing unspeakable things to him in the middle of the street. He told me he was psychologically scared. He was. You could see his face. Didn't have a good time. I'm not going to go into details. D'Angelo, good to see you. Sweet Dirty, it is, bro. This is a Mel one. Okay, it is. It is trippy. It's actually freezing here. I'm bitter. I've got no heating on, and I actually got a little bit of a sweat on. That's you guys, man. Damn good. You're giving me love warmth. I'm not going to go into that dabbing good. I didn't even think of that. Alan Biggs. Venetian Black Nobility, indeed. We talked about that in the past as well. Definitely a thing. I'm Von. Ooh. Klaatu Barata Niktu. Klaatu Barata Niktu. Mork calling Orson. Come in, Orson. I used to love Mork Minty. I loved Minty. I really loved that. It's right. There was always a moral at the end about what he'd learned about people. And they were really good moral. It's like what he'd learned. They're little lessons in life, I think. That's what I like to think. It's all a schoolroom. We learn in here. Kind of dummy, whatever this weird place is. Feelers fake. Good to see you, lovely. Thanks for being here. And drives for sale, indeed. I got drives for sale with like millions. Well, tens of thousands, 60,000. I got 80,000, 80, 90,000 on super drives as well. Hank is over there in the corner. He's not allowed to play Joy, not today, because YouTube and stuff. They're very selective about what you say. Evil Dead 3 is brilliant. Roman Bear. Love Evil Dead. It's brilliant. Ashley! 10 of hearts! First time I seen that, I was on a bunk. I watched Max and my mate Billy's. He was on a bunk. It was in the 70s. We watched Rabid, which was like, fuck me. I was like, my head was blown. But any of that... what's his name, that film director? He blows my head. I can't even watch his stuff. Fucking hell. But yeah, and I watched Evil Dead, and I literally got scared. I was scared walking home on my own after that. But my mate Billy had a Doberman pincher called Satan that used to like literally pin me to the door, barking and growling. It never bit me, just like bully me. I'm busy. I'm a busy bunny. I do a lot with my life. I keep busy, man. I get like itchy feet. I go like really itchy feet. I can't do shit, man. I'll go fucking my head, my brain will explode. Buona Sonata. I don't know what Sinato. Martin. Ciao. Tutti. Thank you, Christine. I can speak a little bit of Italian. Bellissimo. Make a bambino, bellissimo. That's all I used to know in Italy. It's all I ever used anyway. There's only the international language of love you need to get on in life. Jiggy, another few words, essential. A lot of handsome women in the chat. There are. I've noticed this genre attracts lovely women. I've noticed this. Look, and they're all lighting up. Lovely, innit? Mudflap babes, man. The best. Flat earth mudflap babes. All. And vaccinating. I really like shrooms. Eppie really likes shrooms. She's like us, isn't she? Earl of Oxford went to the Grand Tour, had a courtesan in Venice. Did he now? What happens in Venice stays in Venice. Romanian Bears, my brother. It's in the chat. So how long have I been going? 2.5 hours, coming up to 3 hours now, guys. I think I'm going to be going soon. Although, I'm going to miss you when I'm gone. I think I'll sing a little song for you. I never break out with the song on YouTube, Matt. It's the golden rule. Don't do it, Matt. So, yeah. Keep Martin going. Thank you for that, Hippie Shake. That's really kind of you to share my PayPal link. Thank you for that. And you can get on my website, Martin Liedtke website, and find that below. And you can find everything to do with this subject. Because some people are coming here and like, what is fasces? It's like, okay. We're like 6 years in with that now. So it's going to take some explaining. So good show. Thanks, Bob. I'm exhausted to be back. I'm actually buzzing. I've been excited for I stayed up last night and I thought if it goes over at 12 o'clock tonight and I can get my channel back, I'll post tonight at 12 o'clock. And I waited and it never, I was miserable. I had to wait till I woke up and then it was back. I was like, that was hard. It's like torture. One more quarter. Reminds me of that Led Zeppelin track. That's no quarter. So, yeah. So, everyone, thank you for being here. Wonderful atmosphere again. I feel it through the screen. It's weird when I'm not actually with anyone, but I still feel like I'm with a room full of people. It's an amazing feeling. Scott, Spillerine, Ian Briggs, my old mate in the house as well. Robotic Doe, Bull, who's blessing you. And D-Techage, don't bless me, man. And Joshua Sada, would you bless me, man? Josh Mack, and Lee Templar. Hiya, Lee. And whatever that means. Gifted 5 Martin Liedtke memberships by Helissa Media, our friend India Wilson. I'm a robot. That's why all of these human emotions and things don't affect me. Mr. Razda Irie, thank you for being here and bringing your awesome Razda buzz. We love Razdas in British. That's why I got dub things going on. Because I'm a little bit dub myself. Aye, Christine. So is the nature of British culture, actually. We all grew up with it. Earth, thirst, space. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And Gary's in the house, who's now changed his name to Blackstar Coded, Felton. Save Me from the Gallows Pole. I love that song, Gallows Pole. Again, by Led Zeppelin. It's cracking. Cracking little track. Oi, Lawrence Mellage. Hello there. Eppy's giving you shouts, guys. So, yeah. Let me sort myself out. I'm going to be going now. How many people are in the chat? Still 700 of you. So to recap, watch my last video if you haven't. Link that up for me, Hippie Shake, or I'll do it now. You are. And get over and watch it if you haven't. A few thousand have watched it. It's juicy, and funny video. Oh, thank you, Marion Gregory. Okay, he was lurking there. That's good. Okay. So we had a little look at Admiral Byrd, Nazis, UFOs, and all of the American cities that were destroyed, and the weird, if not spooky, fact that I can't really find any pictures of these fires. Not really. Smouldering. So there must be something in that. And it looks like that America has suffered some sort of nuclear war, to want for a better word, in the 1800s. Crazy, isn't it? Have a look for yourself, do the research yourself, and you come to the same conclusion probably. This place is reset, and it's ongoing, and we just had one, and we're in the midst of it, and they're changing into this new weird world, which is everything that we didn't want. Brilliant. But I see a bright side of it, because if it didn't happen, we wouldn't learn. So there's that. Yeah, you've got to have the bad to appreciate the good. Hey all, thank you, Eric. Thank you, Maurice. Thank you, Beth Dickinson in the house. John Gleason's in the house. Nice name, that. It's like the map. And our friend Hippie. And Vonage is in the house. So, hope you did enjoy yourself tonight. Nothing pleases me more than to bring good content and make you guys happy and laugh. And keep the vibration up. D-Rice. D-Nice. Ooh, D-Nice Winterbottom. Very nice. And Crafty Kim. We love a Winterbottom. Just keep it warm. Joy. Come in, bear. Cat Hat. Love the life. They are really absolutely groovy. We've been doing them years now. They're like a tradition, but it's like somebody was saying, oh, these videos are way too long. It's like, well, they're not about that. Obviously, I can do shorter videos. It's just like a get together for the end of the week for the community to hang out and let off some steam, let a hair down. So it's that. That's why we do it. I know they're hideously long, but still 10,000 fucking watches, so it's not that bad. Romanian bear. Easy. Hi, I'm going to go now. Hi. Damn crazy life is. It is. But it's why you make it. And that's true. Just like the words of that song by the life's what you make it. And it is definitely. If you just focus on negative things, that's exactly what's coming. Focus on changing the world if you want to. Be in love. And just doing groovy things. Because that's all I want to do. Bring the love and do groovy things. That's it, really. While I'm here, just passing through, bringing the love. That's what I'm doing. Yay. Thank you, Beth. Thank you, Avidus, my brother. Great presentation. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, I'm taking about. Okay, let's go. Make sure to subscribe to my channel if you haven't. Make sure to... Make sure to subscribe, like. I did. And I'll be back very soon. I'll be back in the week. People are wanting more truth bites. They can be supplied. I was thinking, I had a tin of soup the other day, but it was called cockaliki. This is actually a soup in Britain, but I'm not sure it's YouTube friendly. Spotted dick's also something I could cook. I know you're confused right now. These are traditional British dishes. Yes, cockaliki and spotted dick. British dishes. So is that. So, anyway, I'm off to watch an old movie. See if I can find something really old or an old Alfred Hitchcock type film. That's what I watch. I can't watch new films. They're all violent and ugh. I like the melodramas from years ago. Some of them are really good, guys. Honestly. So there's that. That's my entertainment. Ew. Good to see you. Come back, Finn. Thank you, Ippy, Shake. There you are, my moon landings. Click that video. Watch that after this if you haven't, because you don't want to miss that one. It's only 37 minutes long. And you can do that after this video if you haven't seen it already. I will be back in a day or two. I'm going to do some cockaliki. No, I'm going to do some cooking. And I'm going to do some more posts very, very soon. Make sure to subscribe and all those groovy things. And thanks for being here. Flaterday is back. You happy about that? I don't know. No, Flaterday last week was like, I am. I'm the bon vivant, Epi. I'm the bon vivant, love. I'm a really good cook. My food tastes, I ask any of my friends, my food tastes fantastic. Always. Because I put love into it, you see. I change the atomic structure of it with my brain. My brain. Okay. I'm going. Thank you all for being here. I'm just doing nothing now. Just thanking you all. Doing an endless bow. Okay, stay awesome. Boom Shankar. And don't do anything I wouldn't do.